Hello, everyone. I'm in chill mode, as you can see. So, yeah, don't know if this is going to be a Wednesday thing. In my jammies, but I'm in my jammies and my dressing gown, because why the fuck not? Hello, Nick. That was quick. How are you doing? There is a lot of, there's a little empty. I've just opened this deck and look at what is the first one sitting there. Empty bell, time to replenish. And it's number 16, which is the tower. I think we'll just start reading that. I keep meaning to get out a Wonder Woman t-shirt. Yeah. Right, so let's read this. Been heavy. Yeah, it's the Mars Chiron square, so it's not fun. Mars is action, remember. And Mars in Cancer doesn't really go well because Cancer's sleepy and Mars is like action, it's just kind of weird, those energies anyway, I think. And then Chiron is in Aries, and yeah, where it will be for a long time. But it's kind of like, I figured out that's what it is. Because again, it's like I felt great yesterday. I feel 1840, my birthday numbers. Yeah, I just don't feel the same today. But that is kind of how it goes for me. Like I'll have one day where I'm full on a lot of energy, and then the next day is not that way. So, but again, Cancer moon for me is when I'm on tender hooks, I would say. So and it's a lot of hit. What about, I mean, these readings are fucking heavy. I mean, they are very eclipsed, but I'm just going to actually, before I read that card, I'm just going to channel a wee bit about what I'm feeling intuitively. It's more karmic stuff, to be honest. It's like I'm just getting all of this stuff about breakups, which is what eclipse season is like notorious for, is breakups. Whether that be in romantic relationships, family breakups, friendship breakups, it's breakups. But this is specifically like ones where it's like, yeah, a lot of shit about cheating, guys. There's just loads of stuff coming in about like yeah, it's like, because the one I done yesterday, which I actually thought I'd already published, I haven't. I'll probably end up publishing that after I get off of here. But that was all very complicated and bits and bobs of different people's story. And then today, and the reason I know, you see, is because usually I'll just get all these feelings about that through all my clears. And then I'll see different synchronicities throughout the day. And then also like if I've got time, but sometimes I just do it on here, like I will grab one of these decks to confirm what it is I'm feeling, which is what I done tonight before I came on here. And it was literally like I only pulled about 4 cards, and it was like I pulled 2 cards about like, it's just like, yeah, it's all just stuff like it's about, and I'll be drawn to the word karma. That deck's really handy. I actually never used that deck. I think I used it and didn't really like it. Maybe we should use it, but it's at some point, I don't know about tonight. But yeah, the one yesterday was all about karma. By the way, I was laughing. I just thought what Nathan had said, that, yeah, basically you don't want that one to resonate with you. Do you know what I mean? From what I remember when I was doing it, you don't want that one to resonate with you. But if that is you, like, forgive yourself. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. And this is a similar kind of vibe. It's like, I suppose when I'm picking up on things about cheating, it's not like nobody I'm sure it's nobody's like, calling to be a cheater. Like it's kind of like people end up doing that out of insecurity. And like, the safety of saying something that feels safe, but often it's boring. And then, because that isn't mapping, you don't stray away from home if you're not getting something that is you need at home. You know what I mean? But again, I've made it crystal clear how I feel about that stuff. I would never, ever condone cheating. I really, again, it's like I'm so strong about it. I don't, I'm the kind of counsellor that I'm like, it's hard for me to sit. Have I actually? Have I had to? Just trying to think. I don't actually think I have. Yeah. It would be hard for me to sit there and listen to someone because I'd just be like, why don't you just leave the relationship then? Do you know what I mean? Basically. But shit does happen. And it's that's kind of one of these feelings that I'm picking up on. So it's basically, it's like people cheating out of being unhappy. But yeah, there was what was it? There was like one card I picked up and it was like, she knows. So it's kind of like, she knows about us. So I get like, listen, I don't know who's been sneaking about, but somebody knows. And again, is that somebody's wife? Is that somebody's mum? Is that somebody else? I don't know, but it's like somebody knows. And I was like, all right. And then I'm just making a joke of it because we have to these heavy energies. It's like, honestly, if you think this is bad, wait till we get to the actual. I'm like, it feels like I have quantum leaped into Scorpio full moon energy. I mean, arguably, am I ever out of the Pluto Scorpio energy because of my placements? But do you know what I'm saying? It's like, again, I'm going to reiterate that if you want a session, well, actually, you probably missed the boat. I kind of feel, again, Mercury retrograde is doing its thing and shifting things about and arrangements and adjustments. So you can see if I'm around next week, but I've just got this weird feeling. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, even if I make the appointment with someone, I bet you things will get shifted about. I can just feel it. It always happens in Mercury retrograde. It's probably happened to some of you that watch this with me, and it's always meant to be. So never worry about that. If you have to reschedule something or whatever, like, hey, how many people that don't mind saying that, like Nick, you wouldn't mind saying that. Hey, you've probably heard a couple of times of that with me, that it's like, even if before people know that about me, if you don't need to be like really apologetic or anything. It's always, literally always meant to be. If there's a delay in doing a session with me, it's always meant to be. I know it's annoying or frustrating when people want to, get an answer or something, but it's always meant to be. It's either just it wasn't the right time for you, or something else had to play out in your life before. Again, I'm being shown about that recorded reading I done. But take your pick. It reminds you of loads of people's readings, but it's kind of like where things had to play out in the person's life for the reading to make sense. You know what I mean? And then she didn't watch it till after the stuff that I picked up on had happened. But as I've explained, in that situation and many other people's, like, basically, I know, like, what has happened there is that person needed to go through a rough time, right, in a situation in her life, because I'll just keep it anonymous with what the deeper context are, because this is, like, honestly, this is quite a few people. And basically, Claire, oh, I'm ready to choke something. Like, Nathan, chill. You're feeling the eclipse energy. I mean, again, it's in the air, so I'm sending you calming vibes. But yeah, basically, I know that what has happened specifically with that woman that I'm thinking of is that needed to happen in her life. And again, it wasn't a nice situation. So that she could take her power back and stand up for herself, right? Again, this is what I'm in people's lives to help them do. And I really do hope whoever is out there that I've helped you do that in some small way or big way. And that basically, yeah, so when I've done the pre-recorded reading, because things are timeless, right? Although, like, something had been going on that, again, I hadn't spoke to this woman in months, so like I didn't know any of this, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was picking up. This is what's crazy about when I'm picking up on it, I don't have a fucking clue. And like I'd said, like, I actually kind of felt like, God, this is a bit negative. Like, because again, these few recorded videos, I think that's why I'm quite tired too. Like, these are quite heavy energies. But anyway, like, I push that aside and just, I'm a professional. And again, like, yeah, although it's heavy energies and it's stuff I don't like picking up on, you can even see it's weird, isn't it? It's like I get excited. Like, I'm not excited that there's this dark stuff at people. It's just I'm excited that it's, to be honest, I'm excited that it's just changing up the storyline a little bit. It's boring picking up on the same shit, or picking up on, like, it's the true love union, it's twin flame union, or all this shit. And kind of like, not even enough confirmation of it from people in the kind of real enough time, but mark my words, it does happen. It's not that it never happens, it's just it can happen sorry, I'll respond to what you are saying after I just sort of get this out. But it does happen. I have to say that, you know what I mean? That it's like, it blows my mind that some of these ones that I've done, it can take a while, which again is why I always say, like, look, you know, I think with all of this, with my stuff, anyone else's, you should just sort of, I don't know if entertainment's quite annoying, but yeah, you should just sort of see it as entertainment. But it's more than entertainment with me, because it's healing, and I'm coaching, and I'm doing my meditation, like I'm putting you to a meditative state, hypnotherapy, healing, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? But a general collective reading is not a personal reading, although it can very much feel like that, and these ones do feel like it. Where's it going with that? Yeah, what was the other card I picked up? So there was one that was like, it's basically like, look, she knows, and how can she not know? And so there's that. So again, like, yeah, it does kind of sound romantic, but it could be like, you know, like people's family members don't approve of it. Could be anything different for different people, or could change it to he knows if you want as well. But and then another card I picked up was like, I'm breaking karmic ties and stuff. And so it's just, yeah, to me, it's just interesting that out of so many cards, it would be the same things to back up what I'm tuning into. And very much the vibe of the longer one that I'll publish after I get off of this is like, it's just basically someone hasn't intended to hurt anyone, really. Christ, I think we need to, right, what can we fucking tap into with this? Let's actually use these ones. I love these ones. These are the ones that I use on the videos. I'm sure these are the ones that get people to click, because it's like, I would if I seen these ones. I love these cards. Right, okay, so that's so I'm just, again, I like to just get all that out to see what comes up when I do the cards. There is just this vibe of someone trapped in a karmic romantic relationship that they're not happy in, lusting after a twin flame. Again, that's where it gets a bit of a boring storyline, doesn't it? And I really thought we were past this part, but clearly we're picking up on a collective that are still in that, so we need to help them. Sorry if that's you, sorry if you're ready. Anyway, whatever. That's what's coming through tonight. Right. Let's get back to Union Energy and Leo Moon, please. Right. My throat chakra sore again. Used my inhaler a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sending love to your throat. So you're talking about throat chakras. Nathan's talking about ready to choke something. I mean, this is all a lot of area around this. Sorry, make a joke. Every session we've had at an appointment. Oh, that's what I started talking about, and then I started blithering away. Yeah, every session we've had at an appointment or rescheduled has been divine timing. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It always amazes me. It's kind of like, and then sometimes when things get rescheduled like that, it's like, it ends up being that we do the session on the person's moon. And, you know, that's crazy that always happens. So, and it's like not planned by me. It is planned by your guys. It's crazy. And my guys and that. And then, yeah, so I never get angry with anyone or that. Like, I always just, like, that's how, you know, you could see it as me being cool about it, because, you know, it is pretty cool about it, but it's really just a trust, you know. I'm like, something's not right. And you don't know, and this is very Mercury retrograde, like, you don't always know why it was right. And, you know, I feel some of you will be frustrated with whatever happening in your life, think like, you know, because again, it's like, yeah, we're all in lots of different situations where the answers just aren't coming, you know what I mean? And then it's taking a very long time for the answers to arrive. And that doesn't, you know, yes, that could absolutely apply to you and your twin flame, but I'm sensing, and I know for a fact, that isn't just about you and your twin flame. It can be other things in your life that there's confusion or mystery around, things aren't making sense, all that kind of stuff. And again, it can just be the spell work, the black magic, the spiritual warfare that is put upon the twins. You know, it's that indecision card. Is that the one I published? It is, isn't it? That indecision card that I think a couple of you were saying that you resonated with that, which again, I'm sorry, because that was really heavy energy. That when there's a lot of seeing, I'm getting tongue tied when I'm trying to say procrastination or indecision, it is what a lot of people would call like the spirit of procrastination upon someone. And again, it's like, it is kind of funny that, isn't it? Because for a while I have been saying things like that here and there, that it's like, It is deliverance that I do. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you really kind of truly know what a shaman that deals with the dark stuff is, it is deliverance. It's just it's not a word that I was guided to use a lot before. But I mean, if that's going to make sense to people, I'll use it. It is. I pray and it doesn't take a lot of time and it brings people miracles. You know what I mean? But it's you know, I'm just not kind of like hitting your head and doing the whole kind of, you know, taking you to church, like whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not being to take the piss out of anyone's religion, you know, although people could take offence, but anyway, they wouldn't know me very. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, people could add more drama to it, but all I do is be like, right, guys, come on, sort it out, fucking hell, free them. You know what I mean? But I just was like, I was like, wow, because I don't use those dark cards very often. They are very dark. But that is seriously what it's about. Somebody is being guided to be set free from a very dark situation. And sadly, it is quite a lot of you. And it was me at one point too. But I'm laughing now. Do you know what I mean? So obviously it's not all the same situations for everyone, but whether you like to admit it to yourself or not, either you were there at one point, you couldn't see it, and then you did, and that's why you're not there now, or you're still there. It's not very great for anyone, is it? What just jumped out and I was sorry, that is my dirty laugh, and you'll know why in a minute. Oh fuck, I'm sorry. These cards, like, I don't know what it is about that. I actually feel embarrassed. Like, I feel like right, professional. I imagine you naked. I mean, it's kind of like it's not really like it's not really the whole. It kind of is though, isn't it? Because if that's what it's picking up on, it's kind of like, you know, I mean, is this the people that shouldn't be thinking of someone naked? I don't I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it wouldn't be a problem, would it? If you and your Twinflame thing did, that wouldn't be a problem. But it would be when people are with people. Oh dear. Again, this can be past situations, this can be present, or this can be future. I need time for me, but it's in reverse. I think so, yes. Okay, didn't really. What was I saying? Christ, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that took me a bit by surprise there. I'm in sacred rage, trying not to. Hey, wait a minute. That's weird. You that's what Nick says. Sacred rage. Is this becoming a fashionable term now? Sacred rage? I am in sacred rage right now, trying not to project energetically. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Nathan. Breathe. I think there's a lot, you know, someone else had emailed me. I just got back to emails not long ago, and they'd mentioned stuff about really interesting comments about shadow work and all that as well. And yeah, there's a lot of that. But again, this is what Mercury retrograde does. It fucks with us, guys. So you got to be mentally strong. Again, that's what I meant about, like, I'm really patient when it comes to delays and detours and mix up and confusion. Because I've got 6 retrograde in my chart, you know, it's my life. So my life is, I wouldn't say my life is chaotic all the time, but at one point it would have been, and I would have just like, this is just my life. But yeah, I get that. I get what the sacred rage is, but I just think it's funny because it's like it's you that was saying it a lot, and now Nathan's saying it. So yeah, I mean, if anybody actually believed that about the law of attraction and not to feel your feelings, that's toxic as fuck. Do you know what I mean? Again, all these things you got to be discerning about. It's all feelings are valid, and Mercury retrograde is going to bring them all out in you. Frustration, fucked offness, confusion, exhaustion. Because we are so fam, yes. Yeah, best reality show ever. At least this way we're not watching the news. Exactly. It's clear reporting. What's going on today? Right, well, there's a whole day fucking shit going down right now. Some defo spell work hitting me, yeah. I'm handling it so much better. Good. Right, okay. So what else? What was I going to ask here? Oh yeah, and the other sort of energies I've got is like I've definitely had things about I'm coming back. What was another one? Back. Just things about like I'm sorry and I'm coming back and all that kind of stuff. But there's definitely people this is going to be linked to, like I'm sorry I'm coming back, but I'm having to end something first. So again, it's like that. That's definite. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely for some. So let's check in on those people. Is that right? Oh, again, I just laugh because I'm nervous. It makes me nervous when I tap into this. Please give me time. I've never felt this way before. So don't be harassing anybody that's feeling overwhelmed with those feelings. I need time for me. Yeah, really don't like being serious because I mean that's quite strong. Please give me time. I've never felt this way before. I need time for me. So somebody's in hermit mode and like, I was about to say beware, but this is the hermit tarot. So somebody really, really needs time to go inwards. 9th of April could have been significant about something, or the 4th of September, because I'm looking at the 9 and the 4. I could be your hero, baby. You might want to listen to the words to that so that I don't need to sing it. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it would just be what would that be? The energy of kind of, it's all very dramatic, isn't it? That's a very dramatic video, and it's like, I could be, I don't know, what's that about? You matter. Yeah, well, it's like, right, okay, so is this not the same stuff again? It's like someone's needing time to themselves to heal, to go within on a dark night of soul. They want to be your hero, or you want to be somebody's hero because your person matters to you. So again, it's just whatever. I remember saying this yesterday in one of those videos. Just because you're not hearing from someone, it doesn't mean they don't care. Far from it. Oh, that was it too, because I picked up a lot of cards about I'm your secret admirer and I watch you and something else. Again, that can be people watching you in the astral energetically or literally watching you. I'm obsessed with your body. Again, I just said watching you in the astral. Like, that's like, I think about you naked, all this kind of very sex energy, that's the devil. Again, because the devil isn't in this deck, I don't see it. It's just a funny thing. And the devil is sex as well. So it's like tempted. Oh, fuck. And this is tight. Wait a minute. We do need, I think there's a couple of karmic cards in this deck. But it's like just getting this energy. Like, for some reason, somebody shouldn't be doing, like, what's the word? In society's terms, somebody should not be thinking about somebody like this until they're done with the other situ. Well, it's not always simple as that. I know, guys, and I know a lot of you will be like, it's not that simple. I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it. No one ever loved me again the way you did. I never appreciated you until you were gone. Letting you down was the worst decision I made. So again, yeah, I'm picking up. It's like, whether you were in a relationship with someone or you were fooling around with them and feelings were caught, it's something like, this person's like, actually, I'm feeling lost and I'm channeling. I like when this happens when I go so spacey when it's like Cancer Moon or Pisces Moon, but it's kind of like I'm channeling the person saying this. So it's like I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it. I didn't realize how important this connection really was. Like it was a fantasy kind of thing. And no one ever loved me again the way you did. So this person has never felt the same way they did when they were with you, or you've never felt the same way, your twin. And yeah, now that it's not happening anymore, you appreciate it. And letting you down was the worst decision I made. And I feel the person let you down, or you let somebody down because you chose third parties over your twin. And like I said, remember, it's I'm sure from what I've heard, it's not great when you're on the receiving end of that. That's where I'd probably put in a wee wink if I could wink, but I'm not going to try because when I try to wink, I can't wink. But yeah, I get that from all the people I listen to, of course, is what I mean. But all kind of sarkiness aside, or whatever, sassiness, it's only because if you're the person that done it, you didn't see your own worth. Like you weren't valuing yourself. So there's no way you're going to value your twin flame. You're probably going to treat them like crap, actually. And and they just flashed up something in my mind. Now, last night that was pretty nuts. I'm telling you, the algorithm for this channel is mental. And it's because of what it hears me talk about. It showed me a clip for something called Ghosted. And I've just saw it again. It's like a new film. It's what's his name? Is that Chris Pine or is it the other Chris? No, that's not Chris Pine. It's the one that's in. He's really hot. I can't remember. Anyway, him, that guy, people are right. But it was just quite interesting because that felt kind of twin flamey because they basically showed you the whole film in a fucking advert. But it was like I just was laughing because it was called Ghosted, and there's a clip in it that people will see it now. I'm saying it, and he says, I wasn't that keen. I just sent one text, okay, and then maybe a few emojis, and then they're like that, and he's like, emojis don't count, and the sister's like, emojis absolutely counts. Like, do you mean? So, and then anyway, it looks like it's a big crazy film and all that. But I've gathered from throughout that it's like they basically act like they don't like each other or like they hate each other, but they actually don't at all, and they're really hot for each other. And it's like you keep seeing things where people are like, get a room to them. Like there's a scene where so it's just basically people picking up on the sexual tension. And that is what I channeled about the last few days. And then there was another lesser known film. I mean, it's probably just one of these, like, no offense, but one of these cheesy American films. And I know most films are American, but do you know what I mean? It's the ones that are kind of low budget, kind of, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? They're on those channels that are just kind of like, but actually, to be fair, I've watched a few of them and they're quite good. So I'm not going to refer to them anyway. Anyway, it's not a big, massive film. It's just on these wee channels. It on the algorithm, it's flashed up this one, and that one was really interesting because it was about 15 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing, guys, and they basically showed you the whole film. By the way, I'm channeling this because it's going to be like people's situations, but it's just very twin flamey. But it was just the title is what grabbed my attention. And I've either said something like this, but I don't remember saying something like that. I probably did. But it said something like, this guy acts like he hates his assistant. No, it's something like he acts like he hates her, but he's fallen in love with her. And then it takes right until the end of the film for him to run and tell her that. Again, it just reminds me of one of my favourites, and they showed me a clip from that the other day as well, the No Strings Attached, because it's like she's the guy in that, she's like the doctor that's just like, look, I just want to hook up with you for sex and I don't want anything else. But then she's fallen in love with him, but it takes her right till the end of it. So she's a divine masculine. And I love the ending of that film. But do you mean it's all those kind of, because he's like, don't come any closer because you're not, I'm not letting you go if you come closer. So that always kind of reminds me of, like, when I say, as painful as it is, if you, oh God, yeah, I need to release something to remind me that I do need to publish that other one, because I don't think that was in this one. I think it was in the bigger one. Is that as hard as it is, you do need to have boundaries with your twin flame when that comes around for you at that part, because otherwise it's like you're getting, I don't like the way they said it to me there, but I was going to say you're getting something half done, but it's just kind of like, again, it's like something's not quite ready. And the problem is with twin flames, that's serious because you're purging a lot of trauma and stuff, and if you're mirroring that trauma at the same time, it's really difficult. Like I said, I do know that from twins that I know that are actually together. It's and I'd say, I'm a huge part of keeping them together to work through it because I'm explaining them what they are, and that's a huge part of my purpose. But it's kind of like God, I went really deep into that, haven't I? Yeah. Anyway, that film, again, I haven't seen that other one. It just flashed up, but it was crazy because I got the gist of it from watching the advert. It's so funny when they do that in adverts. But it's just what I said about attachment styles as well, like particularly dismissive, avoidant attachment. That would be like, you really want something, but you act like you don't, but secretly you really do. And it's just a lot of all of this, like it's people that hint at their feelings in whatever way. And if they're not hinting, if you've not got access to seeing on social media and that, but that is how people would do it on social media. They'll do it energetically, you know, like spiritually. Like you'll just get flooded with all it, and then it's kind of like, but anyway, God, that's too deep, but I get what they're saying. Right, okay, so let's put these back. So I should have believed you. You always had my best interests at heart. Time passes, but my feelings don't change, even though you no longer trust me with your heart. Yeah, so again, it's like somebody has chose other connections over you. And it doesn't always need to be romantic. I am feeling it is with this, so, but it's like just basically everybody's come before you, if I'm talking to you, or you're the person that put everybody before your twin flame. And it's just one of these things you do need to forgive yourself. And that's why I try to teach people about this. It's like you've done that because you weren't loving yourself, really. So I don't want to lose you. I just said that when people act like that, they act like they don't like you at all, or even worse, if they act like they hate you or something, or you mean nothing to them, or they ghost you. It's really because they're disguising how they feel. Not all the time. Don't fucking make that toxic, right? If somebody's saying that, like I've said before, if somebody's saying they don't want to hear from you or they don't like you, just believe them for what they think. Get on with your life. Time will tell. I want a fresh start with you. Yeah. And then if for those of you that resonate with what I said before, again, because I'm channeling that from the divine, the person will come back and say, I want a fresh start with you when they've done the healing. But that's basically what I'm saying. You don't want somebody when they're not trying to do that healing and they just want to get you drunk and have sex, because I just cut it. It's hilarious. I mean, it is fun when it calls. I mean, I don't even drink anymore, but I want to get you drunk. That's the sex card. Hilarious. Definitely. Yep. This is absolute banter. Is this the one? No, it's not. Okay. So I did ask for it. Right. That one needs to be, that one needs to be published, because none of that chat was in that one I just released, was it? That 30-minute one? Because you watched that next, didn't you? So it's the other one then. It's the one that's an hour. It's got stuff, it's all got stuff like in it. It feels like it's, for some people it's happened, for some people it's an omen, it's a warning, for some things it's happened way in the past, or some things it's present. But it did sort of feel there was all this stuff about Mercury retrograde, there was all this stuff about a lot of what I'm saying now, like twins getting caught up in the moment, and then perhaps bringing about things like happening before someone's closed out other stuff. And there was definite warnings about falling back into things with karmics and, drunk sex there. And then, you can regret things there, because karmics are the kind of people that want to trap you and all sorts. So I better publish that. Love is the answer. Love is the answer. I'm open to compromise. And I could be your hero baby again. And I want a fresh start with you, yeah. So just put them away. It's all the same cards that are coming out. I am coming, trust. Oh my God, this wasn't even this deck. I am coming, trust. So somebody is coming that resonates with this, and you are right. But what I'm kind of getting from that is, it's like I felt, that's why I laughed. I feel the feelings when I say it. It's like somebody's reluctant to say you're right. In fact, I think they're so reluctant, they're not going to say you're right. But everything in their body language and the other things they say is going to tell you that you're right. So don't be a dick and be like, I was right. Do you know what I mean? Just enjoy the moment. Right. What else do we need to know here? I set the alarm for an hour and there's about 25 minutes left. So I don't know if I'll go then. But I might. Because I kind of have a early night, I think. Right, what do we need to know about all of this stuff? No, wait a minute. I need to, somebody give me a question. Come on, let's be a bit more interactive here. Because that's like, I could, sometimes I'll get good questions to ask, but really only when I'm by the sea, and I'll get a good one. And then if I remember right in my phone, but or I could just use my wee framework here. I don't know if framework's the right word, but somebody got a general question that would help everyone that you want to know about your person, or that you want to know about yourself, and then I'll decide, but I'll kind of feel into it if that is going to be helpful to everyone. So keep it general. And if you want a personal message, oh shit, I didn't put that in actually. If you want a personal message, I'll put in the donation links. And if you want one for free, if you're new, hey guys, I'm not even fucking, that's hilarious. Look at, now I don't know if you've seen this girl, but she's absolutely stunning. And she's got the same birthday as me, right? And I'm not saying it's something about the birthday, by the way, that's hilarious. By the way, there might be something in that, because I literally said to the girl today that went for a coffee, I'd never seen her before. She probably thinks I'm batting for that team now. I actually, I was like, Claire, don't say that. But I felt like saying, listen, I'm definitely no batting for that team head, right? Do you want to go and check on YouTube and see what I'm talking about? Like, I'm no lesbian, promise. I just think you're pretty. But I basically was like, what was it I said? I genuinely just said what I felt, and it's basically spirit makes me spit this stuff out. And it's quite funny because in that sense, I'm quite shy like that, right? But basically, like if somebody's got a nice tattoo, I say this all the time, it's true. But basically, this girl is stunning, right? She looks like she's a model. So like when I walked in, and it was like, so I asked for my coffee, and then I was just like, I said, sorry, you are beautiful, like that. I said it like that, and she was like, oh, thanks. But no, seriously, I just had to say, it was like, you look like a model. I feel like saying, what the fuck are you doing in here then? Fucking get yourself, you know what I mean? Get yourself in the scene. I don't know what we'd have said after. And she was like, oh, thanks, you've made my day or something. And I thought, do you know what I mean? Why does she not get told that more often? Maybe she does, and she was just being humble. But I got a bit of Rocky Road, and she put a smiley face and joy on my Rocky Road, and I've just remembered, so that's put a big smile on my face. That's very Cancer Moon, you know what I mean? Good food, good company, you guys, family, soul family. That is what Cancer is as well. But yeah, I'm just laughing at what I said there. No, but seriously, like this girl she's beautiful, right? And it was more the fact she's on point. Like she's seriously on point. And she does twin flame stuff too. And like it's moon and back tarot. So I don't always get guided to say the things, but because it's been quite amazing how, like, I found her at 10k and she's on something like 23k or something now. And I knew when I found her, I thought she's going to blow up. But I feel the reason why she resonates so strongly with me is because she's got the same birthday as me. Do you know what I mean? So it would make sense that, but she doesn't do it like I do, you see, because she's just doing it like what everyone else does. Like they don't personalize it. I think that's what makes me a bit different. I don't bring it back to doing that all the time, but the people that resonate with me tell me that they like that. Otherwise, you wouldn't hang about and listen. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I always say, it's always obvious to me when it's like, that's totally what's going on with you. It's not always that, but it's like I can tell when it is. But look, anyway, the whole point of me saying that is I had to say it, right? What the fuck did I just say? And I've literally just seen this, and it proves it because it says 15 minutes ago. And how this is fascinating about astrology. So it's me and her are really psychic, basically, right? Obviously, we know I'm psychic, but I'm telling you, she's fucking like spot on, because it says an imminent approach from someone who has been spying on you. I've literally just said that I've been getting downloads about I am coming, and I've picked up cards saying I'm coming, trust me. And I also said somebody's watching you. That's the same fucking thing. And I'm pretty sure that bird's no copying me, right? Because it's like I'm tiny and she's huge, but it's like it's just we're tapped in. But yeah, seriously, I'm appreciating the same sex beauty today. Anyway, that's funny, but it's true. It's true. Anyway, but that's quite amazing. And again, what even made me that's why I was picking up the phone to put the links in. But that's the first thing I've seen. Right. Why are delays necessary? Well, I don't know, Nathan. You know what I mean? It's for your unique path. Who knows what's yet to play out? Do you know what I mean? It's about trust. Believe me, I know it's annoying. Seriously. There's shit going on in my life that it's, I don't know fucking clue why it's happening either, but we've just got to surrender. By the way, why does it keep, guys, why does it keep doing that? Like, see at your end. Oh, is that your question? I'm sorry, I've just realised, is that your question? Why are delays necessary? Like, why does it keep taking away all of the words? Because it's like I've copied it from a thing and it says 3 cards and 6 cards, and then when I post it on here, you can't see that. Oh, anybody that ever does that is around here all the time, so people know. Right, anyway, let's see. So, is that a question you want me to ask, Stephen? I'm going to wait and see. Why are delays necessary? I'm going to assume that that's one of the ones that you want me to ask. And it's no big deal if you didn't want me to ask that anyway. I'm just asking it. So thank you for the inspiration either way. Why are delays necessary? Okay, good. Right. Why are delays necessary right now for the people that are being delayed? Because again, I know that that won't just be for you, that will be for others out there. Why are the delays necessary at this time? Ah, interesting. Now, I was going to say that, right. I was getting drawn to the word entrepreneur. And I was just kind of getting this feeling it's like delays are necessary because it's like they want one twin or both twins to really be following their calling. Ideally, both twins following their calling, but there are delays that are sort of coming up because it's like, and again, if you're not at a place where it's like you're helping people, you know, being of service and all that kind of stuff, it's something to do with what you're learning at this point again, which would be kind of just what I said about the cards, like patience. Patience is a huge lesson that everybody has the gift of being taught. It's a different way to put it, you see, because with my 6 retrogrades, I put a different spin on things, hopefully. I know that I do that, but about how to see Mercury retrograde, I always have done for years. I know it can be rough, but it's like patience is something you really need for those of you that want to help others. And I'm sure everybody wants to help others in some other kind of way, but it's kind of like, yeah, they're pulling me at the word entrepreneur, and I've pulled the temple path in the world. So before I read that, I'm going to read them from the book, but before I read them from the book, it's like the world, it's got a 29th in it. So the 29th, which, oh my God, there it is again. That's Saturday. So there's something significant about the 29th for somebody watching this. I'd imagine quite a few people. There's something really significant about this weekend. I would say like from definitely Friday, but I'm sure I even said the 27th. But there's something from like round about Friday onwards, because I kept saying 27, 28, 29. And the world, and you know, is 21 in the tarot, and it's about a completion of something and coming full circle and learning a lesson. But so I kind of take it to mean that when I see that card too, but I'll read what it says because this isn't based on the tarot. But yeah, something it's like basically, oh, it's so funny because it's like a lot of the things I'm saying were answered for whoever's resonating with this, which won't be everyone, in that hour video that I done yesterday. Like it's like karmic lessons have been learned for some, whether it be in a romantic relationship or with karmic, anyone around you, family, friends, and it's like, it's time to move on. And I mean, I've been channeling that for years, but it really does feel like it's very strongly there for a lot of people. And it's like the temple path is what I'm saying about it. It's to do with your path right now. So that's going to be different for different people. But that's why the delays are there, because there's still lessons to learn. Of it, because when we really want something to happen, or we want the answers, what are you learning in that? I mean, you're learning to just accept that it is what it is. And that's quite interesting, because I picked up a card, and that'll be funny. I picked up a card in that deck. Let me just shuffle before I forget. I picked up a card in that deck that, again, I don't use this deck very much. It's funny. It's a shamanic deck. I'm going it's called the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Actually, I don't know why I don't use it, because they're good cards. They're like thick quality. It's like I'm doing a review, but you know what I mean? They're quite good to shuffle. But it is what it is in this deck. It teaches you to just accept that things as they are, and trust that it'll shift when it's meant to. And again, it's funny, because I'm literally that's with something in my life right now too. Other than twin flame stuff, do you know what I mean? Dream thief, refusal of the call. Oh, look, there's the one at the start. Empty well, time to replenish. That's the tower, 16. Right, let's read all these. Right, okay, let's start. Right, so let's see. All tied up. I just opened the book up at all tied up. 12. So it's not going to answer everybody's question, but hopefully it answers something for you, Nathan, because you asked the question. But it's for everyone. So receiving this, it's on page 37, by the way. And again, in the last two videos, because I know it's the one I've published, I was drawn to 37. But on the one that I've yet to publish, I was drawn to 37. And you can tell when I'm doing it. I'm not just looking at it like it just happens, like when I get drawn to 144. Because I've noticed when I watch these back, I don't notice while I'm doing it, because I don't see the time, you see. But when I watch it back, they'll draw my attention to, I say something very important on, it's probably every video at 144. Like, so an hour and 44 minutes in, probably a minute and 44 minutes in, or whatever other variation, it's like I'm usually saying something quite significant, or at 37 minutes. And again, it is because, like, that's why I put that stuff there for those of you that are at that time in your life, and further on from that, because it is difficult, and it's and they're pulling me at the teacup, the inside of that teacup with the stars and all of that. It's like destined and fated. That's what that looks like to me when I'm saying it. Right. Spiritual purpose and support. Receiving this card represents your own spiritual evolution. The winding path you're on leads to a blessed temple and a lovely garden, symbolising the spiritual destiny your soul has in mind for this lifetime. This card, and I just said about destiny, this card upright is here to tell you that what you're going through now is all part of your soul's process, right? Fucking drop the mic. Hello. Didn't need to read it from the book. I feel that's what I just said. It's like, who knows? But it's what they're telling me is there's just, wherever there's delays, it's your soul wanted to learn more of these lessons about patience and frustration and accepting it as what it is for now. And again, like I said, I'm resonating with the stuff that I'm saying right now, because I've had to be in a place of that as well, or you'd go fucking demented, to be honest, or I would really in my case. You're on a karmic path and heading in the right direction, and the choices you make now are important for the personal growth and life lessons. The lights around the temple represent the spirit world, your family members, friends, angels and guides, all the loving helpers who long to assist you. Call upon them to be open to their wisdom and inspiration. By the way, if anyone else is live watching this and you're a chatter and you're not shy, if you want to give another question that would be general for everyone else, then we'll roll with that. Otherwise, I'm going to go, because I think the alarm's going to go off soon. I don't know if I'll go. I might do some more collective stuff, but following your higher intentions will help you move your life forward in dramatic ways. and connecting with spirit and your higher self, you will have wonderful influence on all you experience. Yes, so there is something here about you are moving forward, but the delays, you've got to trust that the delays are happening for a reason. And you find out with Mercury retrograde, when there's delays, you find out at the end of it, usually, you find the text that somehow didn't come to you when it was meant to. You find the email in your spam folder. Somebody finally manages to call you and there was all this stuff that stopped them. It's all this kind of stuff. I open my heart to my spiritual truth and deeper connection with spirit. Guidance and inspiration comes freely and easily to me. Right, let's read 29 as well. I just got drawn to the card deceit when I was looking for the card. Expansion, opening up, and that's relevant for that one that was all about secrets. The man in this picture is looking out over a bay above which the beautiful sphere of the earth is rotating. This card is reminding you to expand your vision and contemplate some much broader options. The world is wide, so there's a lot out there to consider. In the modern age of technology, this could specifically be referring to creating or expanding to a more global network through the internet or social marketing. I did say something about entrepreneur stuff here. Drawing this card also lets you know that you have unlimited resources available to you, and now's the time to think big. As they say, the world is your oyster, so go get ready to gobble it up. And the affirmation is, my life expands into boundless horizons with unlimited powerful energy. A world of possibilities is open to me now. I feel 1995 might be significant to somebody watching this because it's on page 95. Obviously, that's not going to be for everyone, but it is for someone. Right, let's read these cards as well. Oh, look, that card's kind of like what I said. So we've got Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call, Empty Well, Time to Replenish, and Drifter, Experiencing Life as it Comes. I kind of feel like that wording's like what I just said, like accepting that it is what it is. Whatever it is anyone's going through out there, all of us are going through different things. Some of us are going to be going through similar. What I always say is, what fascinates me about helping twin flames over all these years, which, like I say, is 8 years for crystal clear visions, but probably longer than that, and I didn't even fucking realize, isn't it? Oh wow, sorry to hear that, but like, thanks for the confirmation there. Are you trying to pop in? But it's kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised in this energy, actually. I'm pretty sure it's Cancer Moon and Pisces Moon when I do start bringing through. That's fine. I mean, it's because it's when I'm chill, the loved ones and spirit want to pop in. So, what was I saying there? Yeah, helping twin flames over all this time. What fascinates me is I can always, this is kind of like my gift. I don't know if that's the Sagittarius moon or if that's just a me thing, but I can always just see the connections and everything. Like when different schools of thought and everything. Like for instance, with psychology, like I can see how psychiatrists and psychologists call it disassociation, but shamans would call that like fragmented soul, or like like when you need to pull back, like soul retrieval. Basically, that's what I'm doing all the time on here and in personal sessions, and that is just basically unique to my gift. Is it's just, yeah, that is just what I'm here to do. But it's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, again, like when you're empowered enough to do that as well, you can just pull back your energy. It's so, you know what I mean? It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It is the same thing to me, but it's just, so it's like if these skills I can't like work together, it feels like masculine and feminine working together. It'd be like, you're basically, it's the same thing, but it's not treated in the same way. That, oh, where are we going now? That's quite important. It's not treated in the same way, because when you're disassociated, you can be treated like, well, let's face it, you can be treated like you're crazy at some points. And part of spiritual awakening, you do literally go crazy, guys. It feels like, I mean, come on, hands up who feels like that. Fucking me, loads of times. It feels like you're going nuts, because you kind of are. That's why you need to stay grounded. But shamans see that as, you should honor the people that that's happening to. because they're going through a profound spiritual awakening, and on the other side of it, you're going to be a powerful healer. That's not really how they treat episodes like that. You know, if it's dealt in another way, you're given pills to numb the pain, and you know what I mean. And it's not right. And again, there's lots of people that have. I know it says all the time, but for anyone that's new, that have went to the doctor, have been putting on like pills that just pause the pain or numb you out, which is fine. Yes, there are things that happen in life where people do need that, and I can appreciate that if that's the way you're guided to go. But for me, it's always felt like it's just going to be putting you on pause, and when you unpause the button, the pain's going to flood back to you. So I've always been feel it to heal it kind of thing. But it's just that's me, it makes sense that the medical field really clashes. I've said this to you again, use your own discernment and, be sensible about things and all that. You should always go and get things checked out if you're worried, but it's not my go-to. It just isn't. Do you know what I mean? I know the connection between the mind, body, and soul, and hospitals and shit like that are my last resort, really. Other than obvious things like when you really fucking need a doctor for something or whatever. Yes, I don't know why the hell that's coming out, but somebody needs to hear that. Let's read this card. It's like, okay, so I don't even know what led into that, but whatever. Oh, that's why I was saying it. I've seen so many different scenarios with the people that I help, but the core wound is the same. It's always about, I always say this, but it's always abandonment wounds with twin flames. Always, 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 always. But it's not always the same things that lead to that. Oh, hello, Frequency Queen. I have seen you once before. You've said hello, haven't you? And thank you about that. Thank you for saying that spot on. I'm just so zoned out. I'm just letting them flow it through. Do you know what I mean? But it is true. Do you know what I mean? It's like the amount of people that have said to me, and again, even some friends of mine that, some friends of mine that it's like, well, I'm on here on here all the time now. And it's like, I've got one that I think maybe she watches the shorts, and she probably does tune in here and just doesn't talk all the time. Do you know what I mean? But whatever it is, yeah, I remember her saying it was like she was feeling really, really down, and that's probably actually I'm being shown a couple of people. I'm being shown a friend of mine, but I'm also being shown clients that have said that's basically generally what I'm saying is whenever doctors have suggested having some kind of pills for this, and that could even be as little as like a headache or something, taking paracetamol and all that. I've had interesting things where like as soon as people go on, definitely on anything that's kind of like numbing, like, I don't know, like maybe like beta blockers or something. I don't know all the names for things like this, but it really clashes with, so somebody must need to hear this. It clashes with my journeys. And that makes sense to me. And it's appropriate that you're called Frequency Queen, because the frequency that I emit, you are all being drawn to. Otherwise, you wouldn't hang around here. Like the people that aren't meant to hear my message, like even the people that really watch me because they don't like me and stuff, I wonder how long they can actually watch it for, because I don't know. Like I really don't know, because I'm not that fair. I'm not the people that do that. But it's something to do with your frequency. It's the way that I see it. Like it's like what I'm trying to do is undo all these disempowering things that are given to us by a lot of the time, by that whole matrix medical world. And I don't know, it kind of reminds me when I go to the dentist and I tried to tell the dentist that mercury is bad for you, and I don't know why we were ever given things like this and stuff. And I think he's moved on to somebody else, and thank God, because he was getting on my tits. Like, I hope you're happy, dentist man, but he was like fresh out in nappies and he was fucking no listening to me getting on my tits. Sorry, that's judgmental, but it's the fucking truth. But I just shut my mouth then, because I thought, and again, it's really weird because again, it's not, I don't like want to go into the dentist and argue with the dentist when they're poking about with sharp things in your mouth and all that. You know what I'm saying? But it was like I was genuinely asking things for my health, and he was just turning out shit that he's read in a book. And doctors do that too. Believe me, I've had many instances. I could write a book on the instances I've had with doctors where they do not fucking listen. Now, I'm sorry if there's any doctors tuning this and you're open to all of this, and you're, I have come across that from time to time, not very often. it's, you know, it's not all doctors, but it's quite a lot of them. And it's yeah, so basically I suppose that's just the gist of it, is my stuff clashes with that stuff. So if you ever find you're not getting as much out of my healing stuff and you're on something like that, it's yeah, that's the only way that I can sort of put it. It's just, I've had interesting things where people have literally thrown away the pills that they were told that they needed after watching my journeys, the free stuff. So there's something in it, you know. So again, I don't know who's watching it, but again, it's like you've got to, you know, I'm not a doctor, and so you've got to make your own judgment calls in that. But I suppose as long as you're not in kind of some sort of serious sort of, no, I suppose it's like, again, I can't really say that when it's like, I can't say when I'm saying generally, but it's like if you've even got questions, I suppose it's like they want me to say it for the people that are questioning whether I feel I'm tapping into somebody that's like on something like some kind of pills that are making you worse. Because it's like I'm hearing the drugs don't work, they just make you worse. And I'm sure he's talking about recreational drugs, but do you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm hearing that song. And that's what makes me sad, is I know that there's a lot of twin flames out there as well. Like, there's a lot of people that are just completely disassociated, not in their body. I like to say disassociated when it feels, you know, it's the same thing to me, but like I say, disassociated, total, your soul's fragmented in all different directions. And instead of what some people would deem you as losing your mind and putting you, what's the right word? I don't want to, I think you know what I was going to say, but I mean, I'm trying to be PC about it here, but you know what I'm saying, you know, like basically note you down as you've lost your mind. If you go to a shaman, which, hello, you can come to this one or go to any other shamans that you trust, a lot of what someone would diagnose you with is something that can't be sorted without pills, or something that's going to take a long time to heal. It's probably just a case of being grounded back into your body. And with some things, I have done that for people in one session, like seriously. With other things, if there's a lot of trauma going on, it's not going to be one session. And that's probably the people where I can see they clearly need counselling. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, because I don't know who I'm talking to here right now, but I don't know who needs to hear that. But there's definitely folk out there that it's like, this is such a, I feel like I want to say to somebody, you're not a lost cause. It's kind of like things like, see things are like, what would be one, like see things like bipolar and stuff like that, like that would be a good example actually, because that's like, well, it could be you've got a lot of Gemini placements too, but it's kind of like, you know, it's yeah, disassociating. It doesn't need to be, that's just what came to me, but it's like that would come from somewhere when you're shutting down. Yeah, so basically anyway, this is getting really deep, and it's all kind of stuff that anyway, it's just, well, it's kind of like what I've said before about like my ADHD. Like I do believe in ADHD because hello Michelle, how are you? Sorry, I'm going to read these comments in a minute, but it's like, because I live that life every day, and I mean, I fucking tidied this up and I was really proud of myself, and it's a mess again, you know. It's frustrating as hell. And to be honest, I'm not going to talk about it very long because it's a Cancer moon. I'm going to fucking burst out crying or something. I could do without it. But it's like, but the point is like, I could have just blindly accepted, oh, I need pills. Do you know what I mean? I need pills because I'm being told that I've got this and this is the only thing that's going to help me. And then I've even seen things where it's like what was it? Like I was watching, actually, I just seen what you said in the corner of my eye. It could be that, yeah. Because it's weird, you know, when you said that and I said, are you trying to talk to me? I was going to say, just look out for what I say, but I didn't say it because I know that you know that. But that is true. Like, yeah. So I don't know if this is, if you're thinking that, probably is. But it's kind of like, I remember watching a reality program, and it was so those of you that are in the UK, it's I don't even think so anymore, but it was Tommy and Georgia from The Only Way Is Essex, and then they had a spin-off show. But anyway, basically, I spoke about this at the time, but basically he was work, like, he's a workaholic. He's really intelligent. He's like, he's like a gadget. He's really, he's just like one of the guys in that. But I really love that guy because he's like, I just understood him when I watched the program. Like, he was a bit of a hothead, but you could tell he had a good heart. And even when people were like a dick to him and that, like that Lockie guy, so I'm saying names, some people will know, some people won't. But he is also, I've got a soft spot for all the guys in the Ways Essex, and I don't mean like, well, some of them are hot, but I just mean like I seem to understand them. And it's like, but some of them could be really quite, I'm going to be honest, some of them can be absolute dickheads to the girls, and I really don't agree with any of that. But it's like I can feel where it's coming from. But anyway, but the point is, I remember they fell out once, and I saw that guy, I could see the softer side of him understood, because it was like they could see a part of each other. Oh, I'm being all deep and meaningful about reality shows here. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is he recognized there's something not right, and he was cracking up. He was completely cracking up, right? And it's like, because they had a wee baby, and then it's like, and also that's interesting because they are both Gemini, and they're very kind of like, not only have they both got blonde hair and kind of look like each other, and they've been together a long time as well, when loads of people had got together and broke up and everything. But Gemini does have two sides, you see, so that can have you can experience a bit of different personality sort of stuff going on. And we've all got Gemini somewhere. Like, I know in my chart that can be the case. It depends on my mood, where I'm going to be at. I feel I'm like that anyway because I go with the moons. And by the way, if you're Cancer moon, what it is right now, I will say that to my dad. You could be a bit like that. Like, you go with the moon because the moon is ruled by Cancer, Cancer moon or Cancer ending. But I'm just going with this, by the way, because it's flooding in. So yeah, basically on that program, like, I liked it because I liked that he finally had an answer and he was sharing and helping people. But the bit where I was kind of like, oh man, this is not good, because there's lots of people watching this, it was like, basically the problem is I've found out I've got ADHD, and the solution was, here's the ADHD drugs. And I was like, oh man, Tommy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I kind of wanted to be like fucking writing in or email and being like, no, go and get therapy. But actually, that was it. I liked it because it was like the James Arthur documentary. He did go and get therapy too, and I think he still does. And I liked that they were promoting that. And he definitely was attributing his mental health had improved from the therapy. But the bit that I was like, oh no, but again, it's not my life. I'm just sort of saying it if anybody wants to take us on board. Take what resonates, leave the rest, kind of thing. It's but it's my professional opinion too, as a healer, just saying. Is that I liked that he was going to therapy and he was really saying how amazing the therapy was, but he was also contributing a lot of why he felt better to the drugs. But again, it might just be the case for some folk, but it kind of, I bet you that really dulls his sparkle a little bit, because that guy's got something special about him, and he's set up that trainer company, and I don't know if he's a millionaire, but he's probably on the way to being one if he isn't one already. And it's just, he left school with no qualifications, and that always touches my heart, because that's like me. I left school with no qualifications. They put me down as being stupid because I didn't talk. They put me in all the lowest classes, when in fact, when I finished doing my, I'm just giving you my life story now, like this is your life to date. But it's been like this, like a fucking roller coaster. But yeah, I left high school with qualifications, right? But I should have had a lot better than what I did. And it was down to them not seeing my potential. I just didn't talk, so they just was like, oh, she must be thick. And then I went to college, and I just pissed about, made quite a few friends, one of which I've still got now. By the way, I'm pretty sure I was at college at the same time my twin flame was there. I've said that before, but that always blows my mind, because yeah, that's really pretty nuts. I didn't meet him there. We were just there at the same time, but I just pieced together, and I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong about that. But I didn't get many. I didn't really get any qualifications from that. I think my best pal got an H, whatever. She got the degree, the qualifications she needed, because I think you go there to get the hires. In Scotland, it's like you don't get hires at school, you go there to get it. And I just fucked about and made a few pals, you know what I mean? I was going out and getting pissed on that. I wasn't really bothered. And then now I actually think that was me being a genius, because if I knew what I knew about uni, I wouldn't be bothered with any of it. But anyway, I then went from there to, where did I go? Yeah, then I went to work in a nursery anyway. Loved it, although it was full of fucking billion bosses and billion bitches that I worked with too. And some of them I loved, but some of them were bitches. Yeah, and then when, I mean, I don't know, when did I decide to, I think it was like early 20s that I just decided I felt quite unfulfilled with what I was doing or whatever. And then I went to night school for a year whilst working in a school supporting children with additional needs, like basically angry kids and that. Again, that's I was well suited to that because there was one wee boy that just used to rip all the pictures going along the hall. And people were kind of scared of me. He was like literally 6. I mean, this was a million years ago, so I can tell you this. But I just understood him and I could understand why he was angry. And well, he wasn't as angry when I left. So my job was done, so Nanny McPhee left. But yeah, I traipsed all through different weathers to get the qualifications I needed. And I somehow got into Edinburgh Uni by the skin of my teeth, by the way. And I always attribute, remember I said that girl helped me do the statistics course. And I wouldn't have got in if she hadn't helped me with that. So, and do you know what? She didn't get in. And I felt really guilty, but I mean, I don't know why she didn't get in, but it was like, yeah, it's just one of these things, isn't it? It's like, but it's kind of like, but just maybe that's like, and maybe that answers the question. Nathan, your question has brought a lot of stuff, but it's kind of like, you know, maybe it just wasn't the right time for her. Like, I think she had a kid in that, and I think it was all quite chaotic anyway. And I like to think, I think she maybe did go back. I think she maybe did get in touch with me to say that she went back the year after. So whatever it was, she was obviously meant to be a part of my journey to make sure that I got in, because there's no fucking way I would have got in. But anyway, I was studying social work. Would have made a terrible social worker. I would have been taking all the kids home with me. Do you know what I mean? I would have been like, oh, fucking hell, just come home with me. You know, you're not allowed to much. Yeah, wouldn't have been good. You can't scoop them up and take them away. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you just got to do your job. But then, and I finished with a humanities and social science, and then I went and studied counselling at college. And then I went and done the postgraduate, and again, you know, put me in a dark night of soul. So fucking brilliant, isn't it? So again, listen, the shadow side of cancer can be a little bit like the shadow side of Pisces, and it can go a little bit victim mode. I'm not telling this to be victim mode. I'm telling you about, like, basically I never give up. But also there's a lot in this about well, trauma and like going through my own trauma. Oh yeah, I suppose that is what it is. And a lot of it was down to the fact that I was undiagnosed. Like, yeah, people hadn't spotted that I had ADHD at that point. But yeah, but the point is, I attract a lot of people that have got ADHD, whether it be inattentive type like me, which is like sloth mode, appropriate as I'm sitting in my jammies and my dressing gown, or like more kind of hyper ADHD. And every single person that is coming to contact me, whether it be clients or friends, and I spotted a lot of people that I clearly could see they had dyslexia and they didn't know. And if I had that kind of relationship with them, I'd kind of plant the seed and then they go and get checked, and they did. Same with ADHD. Anybody that's ever noticed that around me did notice. I took a stats class, and only by the grace did I get through it. So I realised, I couldn't tell you anything about that. And I kept being like, why do I need this to be a social worker? I just want to help kids. I just want to fucking help people. I was like, this is numbers, fucking numbers. The teacher was great though. He was like this older guy, and it was like he was just kind of like thinking there was a load of shit as well. It's like he just kind of like that was his thing, but he was bored of it. But it was quite funny. But anyway, the point is people have told me that it's like, and I think that's kind of what Michelle's saying, but I'm going to read it more properly. But it's kind of like, I have developed a lot of skills personally for myself and my clients. I've even thought about basically being an ADHD coach at one point, by the way, but I can't add another string to my bow, do you know what I mean? But I'm very passionate about it. So when it comes in, I bring it in. Is that basically what I'm saying is, I'm not on any kind of pills or that for my ADHD, because it would make me a different fucking person. Do you know what I mean? It would numb me down to life and switch me off to it. It doesn't work for me. It was never on the cards. But what I did get is, I was lucky that I did get an occupational health therapist who I was very lucky that she did really help me. And I still remember the things she said to this day. And she always recognised about me, that she's like, Claire, like, I can tell you're really good at this stuff. Do you mean I haven't got a degree in that, hen, or it would have been a lot easier to build my business with a fucking cushy wee job like this. Do you know what I mean? But seriously, she was right. Like, I'm a life coach and got the counselling skills and all these other things, and a hypnotherapist. And basically, like, you know, a lot of the things she was telling me to do is things that I tell my clients. So yeah, so you know what I mean? It's just try different avenues, I suppose. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but there's clearly people that maybe have just been told that there's only this one option and you need this. When actually, if you open your mind up, and I'd imagine if people are watching this, that shamans can help you in a big way. You know, there's other healing modalities that are available too, that I do and that other people do. And try it, give it a go. You know what I mean? Because yeah, anyway. Rant over. Right, now let's catch up with the comments and then I'll read these things. Oh, wait a minute. Now I can see this is why I like not looking, because I didn't even see what I can see that I have been tapping into. Obviously, that's what I do when I'm on here, but it's like, how interesting. Wait a minute, where did I get up to here? Did I read this? Right, so I read that. Thank you, Claire. Spot on about the soul frags. Thank you for talking, Frequency Queen. We like it when we get something different. I've just had a moment of clarity. 95 was also a very big betrayal, deception from a karmic. Oh, interesting. And I'm sorry to hear that. See what I mean? See how Cancer Moon, like, I seem to tap into traumas. Sorry, guys. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's, you know, a problem shared is a problem halved and all that. I just need to remember that I'm on a public platform, so I can't share all my stuff with you. When you're a naturalist, it will clash with the medical model. Am I a naturalist? Is that not somebody that likes going to naked beaches, Frequency Queen? I know what you mean, though. I know. I get you. I mean, I am practical too, though. Like I always say, I've got Mercury retrograde in Taurus, and that's where it is now. So as mystical and high priestess and all that is what I am. I am very good at coming up with practical solutions. And that's what I always say, like, you know, yeah, you know, go to the doctor too. But I'm just saying, if they're not, I mean, even today, like, you know, my niece wasn't well. And whenever I always end up saying what it is they've got first. And then maybe sometimes people listen to me, a lot of time they won't. And then they'll go to the doctors and yeah, and it'll be what I said. So I'm doing well. I don't know if I answered when you said, how are you, Michelle? I'm tired, I suppose. Are you sure you're not channeling my mum? This could all land. Yeah, to be honest, it feels like she's influencing it, because I did say that and then I started talking about this. It kind of feels like, you know, like, it kind of feels like she was sort of around me. Wait a minute. Oh, this deck. I like this deck. Sort of saying, you know, you look at it differently from when you're in the spirit world, don't you? Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not, releasing expectations. Oh my God, that's what I was saying about the it is what it is thing. Inspiring others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Oh, hello. That's what I was saying the other day. My gift is helping you find yours. Expanding inner power. I am most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. Yeah, it's like I kind of feel it is this energy of, and I do feel it was influenced by your mum around me there as well, is that there's other ways. So I feel it is that kind of energy of your mum wasn't aware of these other ways. Or maybe she was aware of them and didn't, you know, it just wasn't the done thing in that. It's something like that. That's what I was pegged with. And the truth is, just needed more time in nature and to slow down and listen more within. Bees to all the experts. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just me personally. So again, everybody else make your own fucking decisions, please, dear God. Like, that's okay. You know, I'm just a fucking person. And like I said, I've got many skills and many gifts in many different areas, but I could be a hot fucking mess too, right? So make up your own fucking mind about your own fucking life. That's the type of healer I am. That's the type of counsellor I am. You know what I mean? That's also called taking personal responsibility. It's like when people say to me, tell me what to do. I'm not going to fucking tell you what to do, right? Because then you're going to blame me when it all goes wrong. That's personal responsibility. You make your own decisions. What I can help people do is I can help you be more empowered so that you feel strong enough to make your own decisions and accept where the cookie crumbles when it got, you know what I mean? So I don't know, you needed to hear that too. Because that's the times we're living in. Do you know what I mean? It's like when, like I always say this, and it's funny how I don't get that, because if I do, it would be hilarious to see my reaction, I think. And other people would too. So don't all wish for it, because that'd be nippy as fuck. But basically, Isn't it annoying when you see other people comment on people's videos like, well, this isn't me at all because my twin flame isn't married, so that's not right. It's like, well, it wasn't your fucking reading then. Why did you feel you need to comment? You know what I mean? What the fuck? But it's kind of, like ones like that, or like, I'm not fucking, I don't even care. I don't even fucking think about this person anymore. Well, you clearly do because you're watching the video. You know what I mean? You've fucking, you've come and watched the thing with Twin Flame, or you've watched the thing, and it's, I don't get that, but I see it on other people's and it infuriates me because it's like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? And it comes from jealousy a lot of the time too. It comes from people that are jealous because it's always, and it ends up being people that are really good end up turning their fucking comments off. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, we don't have that problem. We've got about fucking 4 people that talk, the same 4 people all the time. So it's like, it's so funny, isn't it? When someone different talks, I'm like, who are you? But I do remember you spoke one time before. The drugs made her feel like half a person. I thought of that when you said the drugs don't work. Oh, that's sad. But it's true, they do. You know what I mean? It's I've just noticed anyone, especially when people have got ADHD, it's one that really saddens me when I see people with ADHD or kids with ADHD that are given it just changes their whole personality. With like what you said, and I'm glad you said that because I was saying it telepathically and I didn't say it, but that is what I do. That's why I walk every day on the beach. It's why I meditate. It's why I ground. And I meditate my way. Like sometimes, yeah, like on the Mondays I do sit down and do that. Sometimes I do it for longer before I do mediumship Monday. Sometimes I don't do it at all, and my walk has been my meditation. But I did do it then. Like I sat in silence and it was nice, and you could see my vibe was different from when I'm doing the lives after it was calmer. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's try the other avenues, I would say, before you numb it out with the drugs, basically. And then that actually goes for recreational stuff as well. Like, don't be reliant on anything too much. My ADHD symptoms have been tapering off the course of time, have been on meds for a while, and they did have a place in time. The time is over. Slowly reducing doses. It has been difficult. I take it you mean it has been difficult, or it hasn't. Oh, well, there you go, right? So thank you for being so open and honest there, Michelle. But that's interesting, yeah. But again, that's good that you're trusting yourself with, and you'll know when it's right. But again, again, because I know Michelle is intelligent enough to make her own decisions here, see that whole slowly reducing the doses? Think about where it comes from. Because there's people that done it different ways, and yeah. Anyway, if you get what I'm saying. I took a stats class and only by the grace did I get through it. So I can really, oh yeah, I read that bit, that's funny. Frequency Queen, you and me both regarding the stats class. Oh, so I can't remember anything about it. I just remember it was numbers and maths and I hated it. And it was hilarious that I was like, why am I here? Fucking hated it. I hate maths. I absolutely hate it. That's why I think it's funny, and I hate the word hate, but I do hate maths. I still have nightmares. I've not done it for a while, but I used to have nightmares about being in maths class, and I don't know why, because I never went to the maths class. I skived it. It was a scary maths class. There was a lot of hard folk. They used to lock the teacher in the cupboard. I'm not kidding you. I don't agree with that. It was terrifying. But I had a lot of people that were looking out for me. Do you know what I mean? If I got in a bit of trouble, it's like, well, baby, fucking bothering Claire. Do you know what I mean? Claire's sound. I'm like, tears. Fucking shit in my pants. Comedy, I did business. Oh, I've read that bit already. Exactly. Winding path that got us here now. Exactly. I take it you've had very similar traumatic experiences to me. That's what I'm gathering. Fun fact, I have lost 2 very good paying corporate America jobs lately because of pre-employment tests. You literally have to be a fucking genius to pass these ridiculous tests. That's annoying. Be your own shaman. Exactly. Yes, be your own shaman. But I would add to that be your own shaman, but you do need other people to hold space for you. Like everybody does. I do. Everybody does. Because some things are just that little bit or a big bit difficult and too big to handle on your own. So that's what I would add to that, because some people need to hear that because they're too hyper independent. Do you know what I mean? That's not cool either. Have a balance. But yeah, don't be going to everybody to heal everything. Do your own healing, but also know when to go to somebody else for healing. The good news is that both companies were not a good fit. Thank you, universe. Yes, you were looked out for. Yes, I admit I've been on here before, but throat chakra was blocked, sat quietly, listen. Oh, thank you. I'm grateful to share here. Oh, well, I'm delighted. It's funny, this is what Nathan said the other day too. And that I did say that the other day about, it was more when I was talking about the twin flames and someone's throat chakra was blocked when it came to talking to their twin flame. But well, we're glad to have you chat. And again, you know, people can talk sometimes, they don't need to talk others. Don't feel like you need to talk every time, everyone. Yeah, Claire, the alternative didn't exist at right, I see. She did use exercise as an alternative, but sometimes that also ended up triggering for her. Well, hold the phone. She also had Jesus, very religious. Oh, not being difficult. Right. Interesting. Funny, I failed college algebra and ended up in a career that involves numbers. So it's like me, like I'm fucking activating the the number codes and I call them activation codes, or some people call them angel numbers, and that way I was destined to work with numbers, or some would call it numerology. I suppose it is numerology, but again, like I say, my numerology, my tarot, the way I do everything is clear way. You know what I mean? I change it all up and like to be a bit different about it. Lots of trauma, but still here. Me too. I was going to say me too, Hen. Do you know what I mean? Loads of trauma. But again, the way that I've got through the trauma is a mixture of counselling, self-love healing techniques I use with other people that I use for myself as well. But again, obviously I had a counsellor, so she was helping me with that too. And I need to catch up with actually, because we did have a plan that I would check in with at some point, and it's been ages. Yeah, and other healers and stuff as well when I need it. So Dreams Queen, get yourself on the shamanic journeys on the playlist. They are next level, not all at once. Oh, she might do that already. And if you don't, yes, absolutely. Right, let's read this. So, Dream Thief, rejection of the path of fulfillment, refusal of the call. Sounds interesting. The Dream Thief is a soft and compelling seductress. Her only purpose is to keep you hypnotized. Hey, wait a minute, what the fuck? It's like, right, let's read it. We'll read it. But it's like to keep you hypnotized by comfort and sameness. All right, well, there you go. I was just speaking about my love of being different. So this is somebody that wants to keep you the same. So pay attention to this. Let's see what it says. Her only purpose is to keep you hypnotized by comfort and sameness. She wants you to tell your old stories over and over so you don't evolve beyond them. That's trauma. You see, and that's now I get so right. I need to finish this, but that is fitting in with what this is what always happens with what I just channeled about. A psychiatrist, if you think about, if you've seen the new Matrix, right? Yeah, I mean, will I spoil it? Spoiler alert. But in the new Matrix, if you've seen it, he's talking to a psychiatrist, or I don't know whether that's maybe a psychiatrist or a counselor, but he's actually a baddie. Do you know what I mean? And I do feel that's like that. He's keeping him stuck and being like, but do you really feel that way, Neo? Is his name Neo in it? I know he is Neo, but do you know what I mean? Do they call him Neo? I can't remember. But it's they must do. Or is that his thingy name? Oh, fuck knows. But do you know what I'm saying? It's like keeping you trapped in cycles of trauma for quite a long time, which again, it annoys me because I've actually seen some people that, they probably feel like they're telling people the right thing by saying, oh, don't fall into therapy in the counselling world, and that's part of the old Matrix. I don't agree with that. It's not just because I'm a counsellor, it's because counselling really helped me and got me to where I am. It empowered me, like along with shamanic healing. It goes 2 and 2. Do you know what I mean? Because the shamanic journey is all about empowerment and becoming more empowered. But the counselling helped me do that too, because without knowing you, if you don't know your own mind and your own heart, yeah, I've seen, like, I was about to say I've seen shit shamans, but I've seen worryingly shit shamans, Reiki masters, mediums, you name it, everything that I do. I've seen ones that I wouldn't let them touch me with a barge pole, and believe me, I didn't. Do you know what I mean? Whenever I was in any kind of field like that, it's interesting. Right, okay, so ask yourself whether you're reverting back to the familiarity of the origin story and why you were wounded or when you were rejected. Do you talk about how your family molded you as a child without acknowledging that you've already become someone else? So again, that's what counseling's about. You're not that wee kid anymore. You're not that teenager anymore. You're not in that part of your younger adulthood. You can be who you are now. I think somebody really need to be told that. Like, you can take back your power. Shit, that was that last video I've done. I'm going to read these. I think these comments are really going to tie in. Teaching from an old wound will never allow you a new adventure. It feels like that video that I directed people to that I done 10 months ago about integrating the lessons of your Chiron, because Chiron is your wounds and you could always talk from your wounds, but then at some point you're empowered. So hopefully you get that from my stories. I've had a lot of wounds, a lot of trauma, but it's like I now come from the empowered inner child rather than the wounded inner child. Do you mean it's not to say things aren't going to touch things in me? They absolutely will. But I come enough from the pulling at the word children. I come enough from the empowered inner child because that was meant to be my journey to be a teacher that to help other people. Do you know what I mean? But there's some people you can definitely recognise they're still stuck in that. You know, they're stuck in it. And that's when don't stay stuck in it, because come to someone like me and I can help you with that. It's literally what I'm here to do. Or whoever you trust, but again, you're watching this. Instead, bring to the mind how you've already changed, remembering that you have new stories to rely and build upon. Do you want to move beyond the barrier of the glass you've placed between you and your horizon? Feels like the other reading. You can, and it's not difficult. Answer the call to a new adventure and drop your resistance to sailing the uncharted seas of your potential. That was the card I showed on Monday. The wind will soothe and sing the dream feast to sleep so you can wake up and move forward. I feel like dream thief is like, oh man, that's pretty dark. But I feel like dream thief is also like this kind of succubus energies that come to people, you know, guys especially, but it can happen to women. You know, it is a succubus that comes to people, and sex, you know, comes to people that like dreams. So be careful, everyone. Okay, I say this all the time. For the love of God, be sure when you're connecting with that kind of sexual energy that it is in fact your twin flame's higher self and not some kind of energy in disguise. Again, you're gonna be like, how can I possibly know that, Claire? Again, can't really, you know. You can ask me these things in private on a session, do you know what I mean? But I've said it before about, you know, look into their eyes for that unconditional love. You'll feel the energy, but it's yeah. But also it can come through actual people that you're swapping energies with as well. And it might not always be so obvious, but what would be obvious is your energy would be drained, your finances would be drained. But again, remember that can happen to folk too if you're getting spiritual warfare. But it's like, yeah, everything just won't be going so well. And it just makes sense if you are dating somebody and it all starts happening from when you started dating or sleeping with them. That's probably got something to do with them. Don't go blaming everybody that you're dating. But again, people that are tuning in here, it probably is the case. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the wind will soothe and sing the dream feast to sleep so you can wake up and move forward. You are so much more than you know. Now it's time to express what is laying dormant. Your new adventure has already begun. And that's interesting because I've described it that way for years because it was weird. Like they channeled that to me like 8-9 years ago or something. But it's, you know, my energy wakes up that dormant energy in you. Yeah, that is what I'm here to do. So, and I don't even need to do much to do that. It's, but it's just like I said, I have learned all these different cool things to just mix it up a bit. Right. You know, my dream is to become a shaman again, and not just in a past life. I hope delays are not clear. You can help me on my healing journey. Yeah, it's like, Nathan, if that is your dream, you will do it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I said to you the other day, yeah, I can really feel that you have got a strong, you know, connection to that past life. It really does show. And then to me, Nathan, you are a shaman now. I think you need to remember, yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it, Michelle. Thank you, Shell. I hope I do remember. I'd say you are already remembering. If you pick up what I'm putting down all the time, you clearly do get it, because it is a lot of weird shit. And especially you, like you've said this before, but it feels to me like you really do get, like, for instance, that Dream Thief card. I mean, I might use him a wee bit more. I think that's funny. That's where I'm different too, isn't it? Like, I could really probably make something a bigger deal about this with my mystical shamanic cards and the shaman's dream cards. I mean, that really probably would be the sensible thing to do. I do get that. But I'm just so natural with it that if I'm not being drawn to them naturally, I'm not going to force myself to use them because, oh, that goes with me being a shaman. But I do like that card because I feel like that Dream Thief card can be sort of depictive. I think that's going to be a sign for me when I use that deck about energy harvesting of when somebody is sleeping with the enemy kind of thing. Dream Thief. It does. It does feel, it's kind of like the opposite of what I do, because when people sleep next to me, I heal them, whether I like it or not. Like, it's like I heal them. And I know that because a lot of the time people snore really loudly. Like friends of mine that don't even snore. Again, I don't have people. I used to do that with friends, and then I realised I was stuck in some kind of teenage era as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and again, I have to say, it's like, although that was a time in my life when I needed company and friends of mine needed company, I'd say both me and any of my friends that used to stay over, it was, yeah, we both gained a next level of empowerment by realising you have to move on to the next part of your life. Well, that's really deep, but it's true. It's like, that's kind of like when I was stuck in codependent things and didn't really realise that. Interesting. And that's me taking personal responsibility as well. You know what I mean? You can't blame it on everybody else. If it's whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship, you're taking part in something too. But when one of you recognises this isn't healthy, that's the time to end it. Do you know what I mean? Or change it, whatever. Thank you. Definitely not the same. Here now and so much more empowered. And the lessons come from what we overcame. Yes, exactly. Right. I need to step off. Bye for now. Right. Well, rest well. Right. Let's read. I don't know if we do need to read these other ones. Nah, I like that card. We'll leave it at that. Oh God. I take it I completely ignored the alarm. See what I mean? I just go in a different land. Right. A fun land, but I'd go in a different place. Next. Yeah, I want to pull one from this set. Right. Anyone else got another general question that we could ask that would help everyone? If not, I'll just see what comes up. Wait a minute, I've just recognised that tender and brain card is out of this deck, I think. Oh, well, it's not funny, but look, the Eight of Swords was getting shuffled in a deck that's not even in. So again, that's somebody trapped, feeling like they're trapped, but you're not. You're trapped in your mind. It's a woman with a blindfold on, really feeling like she can't find the answers. Change it to he, but it is a woman on the cards. I'll look out and see if anybody asks a question, but I'm just going to. How can we become more conscious of our triggers? Without even pulling a card, I would say by recognising the pattern of what you feel in your body, but then that would bring it back to, and your intuition. But I don't like saying intuition so much, because that's like when I say, this is why it annoys me when I've caught some people saying therapy is part of the old world, and that, because it's like, no, that is why, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, you can't tell someone to trust themselves or trust their intuition if they don't, basically. You know, a lot of people that don't know who they are or trust themselves because they've been gaslit that much and around those kind of energies, they don't really know what that means. Do you know what I mean? That is a good question. So like I said, I think that, you know, although I will say it from time to time when it comes through on the cards or message, trust your intuition, it's not always that simple for a lot of people. There's things you need to do to get to the point to trust your intuition. Do you know what I mean? You need to become empowered enough to trust your intuition. Because if you've had a lot of trauma in that, you're not going to trust yourself. But you don't need to stay there, is also the message, is what I'm saying. And that, oh yeah, look, and that's somebody that's staying stuck. Well, that is like everything I've already said, yeah. Like, you don't need to stay there. That woman doesn't need to stay in that. She can get help. Or him, whoever it is. And they will when they're ready, or you will when you're ready. But yeah, by noticing it in your body as well. But then it brings it back to what I said about, that's all very well, but what if somebody is so disassociated from their body? And again, I can even, like, I know this from my clients that I've helped, from friends that I've seen it in, but I also know it from myself, because I didn't realise how disassociated I was from my body and different traumas that I've had. Until I went on a trauma training course. Like, I'm not even shitting you. And I'd already done a lot of work up until that point. And this was ages ago now. But it was when I was doing my counselling course, and it was a placement, and it was about supporting people with sexual abuse and rape and stuff like that. And it was, and again, it's, you know, although lots of people are like, I couldn't do that, it does fit what I can handle. But I've said this before in a Facebook Live, but basically we've done this test where it was like you sat back to back, and it was like you were meant to write all the things that came into your head. And anyway, whatever it was, so, you know, I think it was meant to be proven the subtleties of what you can pick up on around without someone saying something, right? So bear in mind, this was nothing to do with, like, this wasn't a psychic training thing or anything, right? But what ended up happening was, when we all came back in the room and shared our experience, I had like a big list to Santa. Sorry, people have heard this story for years on Facebook, but it was like a big massive list to Santa, right? I wrote down all this shit, like really specific stuff, right? And I did kind of know when I was doing that, I thought, I'm going to get in here and, like, do you know what I mean? Folk won't have wrote anything down, or not very much. And that was exactly what happened. We got in there, and some people were like, didn't write anything down, or some people were like, you know, they wrote one word or a color or something. And I'd literally, whoever I was, I mean, this was years ago, but whatever I'd wrote down, I actually wrote down like the words of the title of the book the woman was reading that day, that was on the bonnet of her, you know, in her car, on her, you know, it was in the thingy of her car, like, so. And then I'd said something specific. I even remember now, it was like I said something about lemon, and I can't remember what lemon had to do. It had something really specific. I wrote down names. I think I wrote down 2 names. I think I wrote down her daughter's name. So basically, it was just, I think the test was to prove how some people are really way more perceptive than others, right? And can pick up on that unspoken trauma. But I also know that like that, you know, that can be dangerous too. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so again, it's like, I'm pretty good with that. Like, it's like, again, it's kind of like as well, you know, you'll notice like sometimes, like, although you know, you've got to take your personal responsibility for what you share on here in a public platform. Like, you can see sometimes I'm like, you know, that concerned part of me is like, right, whoa, keep that for private. Do you know what I mean? Like, tell me in a Zoom or tell me in an email. But again, I know you might be like, I don't care who's looking, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's like, that's one. It's an interesting. Actually, it was one of you did say something similar to this in an email. It's quite difficult sometimes for me, because I like keep up with what people are saying, but when I'm zoning off in that mode, I could sometimes miss comments altogether. And I don't like that because I don't like to miss anyone, which again is not realistic because you're going to miss people in time to life, whether you're a counsellor or not. Everyone's going to get missed at some point. I've been missed, you've been missed, you know, nobody's better, it's going to happen. But also everything matters. Somebody's tone, somebody's body language. So without even a card, yeah, to get back to that, how you notice, how you become more conscious of your triggers is noticing how it feels in your, you know, in your, some people say your gut, or yeah, in your stomach, definitely, because that's your feelings. And just noticing what makes you feel more angry and in your body. But like I'm saying, that's quite complex when you break it down, because like what I'm saying about when I didn't realise how disassociated I was from different parts of myself and not in my body until I'd done that trauma training. I think it was over 2 weekends, and I didn't even get the placement. Because I was in my dark night soul, basically. But I was in a dark place. I got a lot of help from the counsellor, but like, you know, more like I needed the fucking counselling. But she did say, she was like, if you weren't going through this in your life, like I would basically, she was like, I would love to have you come back here at a different point, but then my life went a different route. I should maybe get fucking like, oh, you got any fucking part-time jobs I can do with a phone head and build my dream while I'm doing this? I think I'm joking. Maybe I'm telling the truth. But anyway, it was fascinating for me because I learned a lot about, I didn't realise that I had quite a bit of trauma around food at that point. Like I only connected things back to my teenage years, and I was like, shit. And I always say this, like I'm really proud of the fact I fucking love my food now, and I eat really well, and I really love it. And before I wasn't bothered. Like I just never got why people were excited about having their tea. I'm like, who cares what you're having for your dinner? Like, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Whereas now I'm like, oh yeah, it is exciting. Do you know what I mean? So your relationship with food is very telling as well. Just for anyone who doesn't know that. And by the way, here's one I prepared earlier. I've actually got a deck about food. Now's the time to bring it in. Guess what Cancer Moon is? That's right, food. I'm just laughing, right? I don't know how they managed to bring it back to fucking twin flame shit all the time. But do you know the only time I remember ever, and I think this is true, ever eaten in front of my twin flame was when we got a pizza pished after a night out once. And it was like you could go and sit in the place. Like it was like something mental, like 3 or 4 in the morning, and you could go and sit. Very awkward, right? When it's like, listen, we weren't going on romantic dates and that. Do you know what I mean? It was just kind of, to me, that's like I was the because I was like, this is wrong. How's this happening? And I remember it was, I think I've told this before, and I think it's hilarious. He was like, he either asked me if I wanted a pizza, or he definitely asked me if I wanted a bit. But I was just kind of like, it's like, no, I fucking do what of it, right? But I'm not fucking eating a pizza in front of you. And again, it's not because I was like, oh, I can't eat a pizza in front of my twin flame. It was more like, I can't eat a pizza in front of the guy I hook up with after a night out now and again. But then I should have just been like, who gives a fuck? But and then I laugh because what actually happened, and now knowing that we're twin flames, that's really funny. This guy came over and he knew, I don't know if he did know me actually. I think I knew who he was. He didn't know who I was. But he came over and I think he said something about, I think he said, you're tidy. That means you're good looking, right? And I think he did. And I always think that's pretty bold. I mean, you know, he wasn't my boyfriend, but I mean, it was quite obvious, you know, what we were about to go home and do. But it was kind of like, it was, yeah, I can't remember. He just said something. It was a bit of awkward chat, and he knew him somehow, and then he knew me, and they went away. But that's just what always stands out to me. Is I just think that's so funny that I was just thinking, oh, but I bet you it's some kind of weird thing. I just remember it was really intense. There's me thinking it's just because I wanted a bit of the pizza and I'd lied, but anyway, I know that'll make people laugh out there. It's true. It is a true story. Oh, that's funny. Right. Even if it doesn't make anyone else laugh, it makes me laugh. Right. So anyway, oh God, now will we answer Nathan's question? Well, I answered it just by channel. Oh, look. And then I was shuffling them and I've just, look. Guys, I love this. I fucking love this. Look, respect your body. That's what I was just saying. That's got different compartments to that question. It's got different parts and answer, isn't it? It's how you can be more conscious of your triggers is being more grounded in your body and just noticing the subtleties if something doesn't sit right in your soul. You know what I mean? Is the way that I would answer it. Be compassionate towards your body. Is there a difference between the way you talk to your friend about their body and the way you talk to yourself about your body? If there is, why? What factors or fears come into play that lead you to treat yourself and others differently? Pretty deep. Yeah, and if anybody does ever want me to do any kind of hypnotherapy or work with them around stuff like that, I'm good at helping people. Whenever anyone wants to release weight, because we don't lose it, because we don't want to get it back, we release it. And it's always more than just weight, it's always linked to other stuff. Oh, roots of abundance. Oh, that card looks kind of magical. Let's read that. So I don't know if this is still going to be asking, hello, I don't know if this is still going to be answering that question, Nathan, but it might be. But thank you, because these are all great questions. And again, keep it coming, guys. If people have got, like, because it's, I think I need the inspiration of people asking questions like that so that I can use it for the video. Because I wasn't so into doing that, but now I am, because like I say, it's yeah, just do it. So yeah, put in the comments of any of the videos, but I like to say keep it general, because if it's more personal, then you really need to be booking a personal session or keep it for the Tuesday or whatever. Although I do just tend to pull a card, don't I, on there. That's, like I say, that's usually how I've always been guided to do it, but maybe things are changing a little bit. Right, so roots, wait a minute. On the subject of what you put in your body, I saw someone you know who has smoked weed for ages, has suddenly given it up and said downloads dropping in big time. Yeah. Yeah, it will. It's quite funny that though too, because some people would claim that it opens them up more, but it depends, everything in moderation. So I'm not surprised. I've been talking to my twin while listening to this. What do you mean? Like, is she there with you, or are you talking on the text? And it's going quite well, which I don't want to jinx, but isn't usually like, well, Nathan, I don't know if you know that it's 111 started streaming 11 minutes ago, and I'm pretty sure I started streaming longer than that ago, but maybe that doesn't seem right. Is that right? But 111 is new beginnings and alignment. It has been known that when I have been on Zooms doing sessions with people, that their twin flame texts them or tries to call them or gets in touch when they've been ghosted for months. Or I had one person, I remember doing a session with her, and it wasn't actually her twin flame, but it was a family member they hadn't spoke to for several years, and they suddenly got back in touch again. Like I said before, I'm the bond that hurt. What did that? It's I mend the bonds hurt by pride. And there's a lot of that goes on in twin flame dynamics too, but that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, but are you talking on the phone or are you texting? Give us the goss. And maybe that's just maybe that's spirit helping you out a little bit with the delays. You know what I'm saying? Right. Okay. So being stabilized by deep roots, anchoring yourself and feeling secure in your life, trust and believe in abundance. This card signals you to pay attention to how you're anchored in the story of your life. Trust that you will be taken care of. The world is full of limitless potential and will nourish you according to your beliefs, regardless of temporary outer conditions. You are not a victim of life. Oh my God, there's a lot of that in here tonight. All right, that's a distant memory for me. Just when did I get rid of that? I got rid of that quite a while ago. Right. God, fuck's sake. Why do people keep, is it Mercury retrograde? Do people keep saying things that keep bringing memories back about mine? This is not what we always want to be doing on here. But that was, yeah, he started that again. It was like he'd fucked off out of my life for a long fucking time. well, it probably wasn't even that long. I think it was like 10 months or something. It was like, but that was a long time because we were seeing each other all the time. And he just popped up on the Facebook Messenger, but it was like right back in the day when it was new, and it just pinged up, and it was just kind of like, hey, and I was like, where did he come from? But yeah, then we never spoke to each other again on that. We just acted like we didn't exist to one another. Happy times. Happy twin flame times. Right. Right, where did I get to here? Life happens for you, not to you, even if you sometimes slip into that way of thinking, which we all do. If you're grounded and eternally steadfast, nothing can uproot you, and you have the ability to manifest your intentions with ease. The message here is simple. Your life is safe and secure, and your intentions are coming to fruition. All your hopes and dreams are firmly grounded and taken root, so you can reach for the stars in your life and expand your dreams further than you can imagine. Everything in the material world is a reflection of your interior world. You are unstoppable and unshakable because you believe that you are abundant. Oh, this is like what I channeled last night when I was saying, when you've got that inner peace, the external things can't shake you. Know that you can easily move from merely surviving to thriving when you pay attention to staying grounded. If you find yourself in ungrounded thinking, now is the time for radical trust. Growth never follows a straight line. You will manifest what you need when you need it. Oh, that's like earlier too. So it's like, that comes back to your question about the delays. You will manifest what you need when you need it. Other things need to happen before other things happen. That makes sense to you. It might make sense. A tall, healthy tree doesn't need to hold on to the ground for dear life. It knows it will not fly away with the wind because its roots are planted deep into the earth. Oh, and it's on page 29, and that's Saturday again, isn't it? Guys, people need to come back and give us the goss about what happened on Saturday. But like I always say, if it's anything to do with you and your twin flame, keep that to your fucking self until further down the line, and then come back and tell us, please. Right. Is it time to go yet? Is it time to go yet? I'm like, what fucking day is it? Got any more questions, or will I just pull a card? Feel like I want to say to you, Nathan, as well, just enjoy the moment. Like, I think if you just be in the moment. I think that's the problem with twin flames, is like, it's like you're always thinking like it needs to be more than what it is. Like, I think that is from talking to lots of twins. I feel there is that kind of, well, maybe we need to go down that route again. It's like that kind of feeling of expectation. It's like you always feel like they're expecting more of you. Well, it's more divine masculines feel like divine feminines expect more of them, when really it's just kind of like, I really feel that actually comes from experiences that you or they've had previously, which isn't really fair, I suppose, when it isn't fair, is it? Look, and then there's a card answering about poor timing. Plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, poor timing. Yeah. I think, is that the same? Yeah, it is. It's the Seven of Swords, which that's kind of interesting words. That's also the deception card. But in that, I like the way that it's saying that. It's like that feels Mercury retrograde, like it's just not the right timing. So the delays, the unions are delayed because it's not the right timing. It's not always because of the dark stuff it's that bad, but it's not always that. It's this person has more healing to do, or you have more healing to do. And it's why I've said that before, that when people get us started in there as well, that means something. It's like, for those of you that have either throat chakra issues or blocks or whatever, the different ways that people would call it, that's what can be quite good about things like, whatever, you're saying Facebook Messenger, some people say WhatsApp, what all these different kind of things are. Again, I'm not on any of them because I just found it too overwhelming, but strip it right back and use whatever, for me it's just text, but it's kind of like I think when you can slowly build up to something in small increments, I think that definitely ties into what I was saying yesterday about, oh God, honestly, I'm tapping into someone's nerves when I'm saying this. For anybody that gets very overwhelmed when it comes to talking about their feelings, that is the best way to go about it, isn't it? Just keep things light, but not and not putting too much pressure on yourself. I mean, I don't think this applies for you, Nathan, because, well, maybe it does, but it sounds like you see yours more than most. But I suppose there's just this feeling of not feeling like it has to all be this big grandiose, all this shit needs to happen in one night or one day. That's all we have. Be here now. Exactly. Will we properly heal old wounds this Scorpio eclipse season? That is the question. Oh, I can't bother answering that, Nathan. I'll tell you right now, no. Basically, right. My feeling on that would be highly unlikely. You know, I mean, it's because, like, well, from my shamanic perspective, it's like my it's like, yeah, it's what I was already saying. Things need to be healed in small increments. It's too overwhelming. Whether we're talking about the twin flame journey and it's, you know, the pressure that is like all this kind of energy. It's fucking energy. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's really fun energy, and sometimes it's really fucking triggering energy. Sometimes it's like incredible fucking sexual energy. It's just like all this fucking energy. It's like, and that's why people run, including you run sometimes, right? That's the fucking truth of it. And you only know if you're truly in a twin flame connection. But if we're talking about healing as well, you cannot heal, like, you can heal the old wound, one of the wounds that you're meant to heal when you're meant to heal it, whether it's a Scorpio full moon or an Aries full moon or whatever moon it is. But it's different for different people, isn't it? You're only going to be able to heal an old wound that you personally were ready to heal. And if not, you won't. Is the simple answer to that. You will if you are ready to. That's what I will answer to that. If you believe you can heal an old wound because you're ready to face that wound and you're ready to feel it, to heal it and face it, then yeah, it's got to be better than somebody that is running away from the old wound. Do you know what I mean? The desire to want to heal it is what will heal it, but not right away. Is basically what I'm saying. It's kind of like okay, I'm off again. I'm putting you to sleep here. It's yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like there's parts in my shamanic work that, like, say someone was wanting to do ancestral healing, like that's really big, and it's not like a one session healing, like, and it has to be for the person getting, you know, the healing's sake. It has to be split up into different sessions with a healer. And it's something that I struggled with, you know, when I first started doing it, because it's kind of like I do just want to fucking heal it all in a night. And believe me, like, everybody that chats on here that's had a session with me knows what I'm talking about, right? I've had ridiculously long Zooms with people, which I don't regret, but I did learn from, and therefore I do not do that anymore with people. Because it's not kind to myself, you know what I mean? But it's, again, that's my own personal responsibility. It's boundaries. Which actually I do need to watch the boundaries on Cancer energy. It's always where, yeah, I do need to watch. But yeah, it's kind of like where I used to feel like I'm doing them more of a favor because I'm giving them more of my time. Actually, you're not, because it's like it's all of that can't be faced that night or in that session. Like, it needs to be broken up for a reason, because it's too overwhelming. So yeah. I'm ready to face all my grief and such. Face all myself. Yeah, I mean, that really does feel like, you know, it feels like whatever it is when we do that session, it feels like it's going to be, I just feel, to be honest, I just feel like it's, again, I don't know how deep to go with this, because this is what I mean about, this is what I mean about when we're on the live, but I mean, generally speaking, I could go deeper with this, but I feel it's going to be about, you're just completely offloading, to be honest. So I would prepare yourself. I was, the way that you properly prepare for a session for me is like what I said, right? Is I always like somebody to have done at least one of those journeys, right? Because I don't know how empowered all of yous are out there, right? And that will empower you enough to at least, you know, but like you said, the fact that you've even got a desire to book a session with me, whoever has done that in the past or is, you know, being guided to do it now, I'm not, again, I just said I'm not good at maths, but you're in a very small minority of people for whatever reason. So that tells me all I need to know. Do you know what I mean? Because again, it's like, you know, that's why if I haven't had a session with you at all, I want to see who the fuck you are as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, unless I've got a good enough feel of you over here. But yeah, that's it. You don't need to do anything else. Like, just bring yourself. Just bring yourself, being genuine. Obviously, you know, the obvious things would be, make sure that I don't know, like people with children, I always sort of say to people, but again, even that, I'm understanding of that, like, make sure that you've, you know, if like I can think of some of my clients with kids, I'd be like, you know, make sure you've got somebody to look after your kid or whatever, but so that you've got the time for yourself. Because if someone has actually gotten to the point where they're valuing themselves enough to spend all that money on themselves, you want them to have that experience for themselves. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of a practical thing there. But other than that, yeah, just come and be in the moment. And I was about to say drop the bullshit, but yeah, that's a good thing too. But I get people to drop the bullshit. People generally, this is being way too honest, but I've said this before. What people tend to do in a session with me is, not everyone, but most people will kind of tell me their story and their guard's still a bit up. And as the time goes on, their guard drops. And I don't know if I've had more, you know, if a bit further down the line, when it's like, when I've had a few sessions with people, they might even, because it's then like, you know, they might be catching up on what happened the time before and tell me all the things that are happening in their life. And something magical happens where people do just drop. I like to call it drop the bullshit, but like their shadow kind of steps aside and just lets me in. It's interesting because I'm talking about me and clients, but this could go with this. It totally goes for twin flames too. But it's that's scary though, and I do get that. But all I know is that is my purpose, to help people with that. And whether that be what I do with people professionally, it's absolutely what happens with people personally. But it's a sad thing, and again, I'm going to fucking play the violin now. But it's kind of like, it's why, even when people think they're going to be that person that doesn't leave my life because they're not like all the other ones that did, even those people can end up being that person to me. And I'm kind of just used to it now, do you know what I mean? But without it being like, kind of like, oh, everyone abandons me. Because not everyone abandons me, but it is quite an interesting thing. And I do kind of put it down to it. It's like I am on a strong quest of deep healing and deep shadow work of my own, and I do never stop. So I have met myself very deeply, and I never stop trying to meet myself that deeply, and I don't want to stop that. And it's kind of like, you know, if that's too intense for people, that's too intense. But again, I've got Pluto conjunct my Scorpio rising. I'm fucking deep. Do you know what I mean? I'm deep. But like I say all the time, I don't talk like this all the time. You mean I just like to chill too and watch the reality programs and not talk at all. And again, I go into this chat all the time, but that is how it is on a session, and that's why I can't do back to back. Like it's it's different when I haven't ever had a session with someone before, because we have to get to even if you feel like you know me, people feel like they know me on here, but it's different. It is more intense. Again, I think Nix has went to her bed, but she would back me up on that. It's because I'm not as much of a joker. Like, and if people give me the runaround, I'll keep bringing you back to what you're there for. Not in a strict way, but like, because that's what people's shadows do. That's what my shadow would do too. Like I have to, that's why I call it out. You'll see, like if I start going into something that's quite deep and actually it feels like it's going to help people for me to share it, but then I get distracted off somewhere, which again, other people be like, oh, that's your ADHD. But it's like, no, if you've got the eye to see, it's not, right? Because I watch these back to see, because some of this I'm like, what the fuck have I said? But I've always said what people need to hear. But I can tell when it's like my shadow's kind of not wanting to shit, like I don't know, it's like distracting me because it's like that's too deep, and then that's fine. It's probably just was what was meant to happen, but I always just trust. But sometimes it can be dark energies that are not wanting me to put something out. But yeah, basically it's really, again, I feel like I can't put into words, but when I feel like I can't put into words, I'm picking up on someone, and it's just funny that I'm shuffling the Silent Heart deck. Like for instance, I'm wondering with you, Nathan, I'm interested in what is going to happen with you, because like just tell me now, actually, let's just tell me now, is that like the men that I have had sessions with, can think of one man, and actually it is quite funny because it's like he may still watch these, so again I'm keeping it anonymous, but yeah, he would say things like that as well, that there was various reasons in his life where I see I'm getting all tongue-tied again, why he wasn't sharing more of his side. And he's very gifted, because I've attracted lots of people that are, again, you all are in some sort of way. But anyway, the long story short is, whenever he came across me, yeah, I was definitely a part of him finding his voice again. And I know that whatever he is doing in his life right now, I'm not in touch with him anymore right now, because it was more through the Facebook Messenger. But again, I like, yeah, he probably will. I don't know about all the time, but he probably will still tune at these. But yeah, he's more quieter. And when I spoke to him, I was more chattier. Do you know what I mean? But he just got me. And that's quite nice for me. I have said that because, like, again, I don't want to blame people, but it's fucking true. Due to the only relationship that I was ever in, and again, I don't think I'd really call it a relationship, guys, because it wasn't even much of one. Yeah, I wasn't allowed guys that were friends. He didn't like that. So I did lose a lot of male friends. But I didn't really, because it's like them and that person moved out my life. Whenever I used to bump into these same guys, I mean, at school, they'd be like, oh, Corma, how you doing? And you know what I mean? Kind of like, but yeah, and then there was another match. So basically, the point is that the men that I have had sessions with, they don't talk very much. That's what I'm trying to say. But I've also had women in divine masculine energy that have said to me, and I remember, and again, she'll know if she watches this, or if she's watching now, she'd actually said to me at one point, like, they're going to need you to talk more than what they can. So it's like where I might be like, oh, I don't want to talk too much. But actually what I've found is it's what some of you need. And that's not come from me, because again, I would want to, the counsellor part of me, when I'm on a session, I want to let the other person talk, but it's because the healing comes through my voice. If you've got a throat chakra issue, it makes sense that it's like the healing is coming through as I'm talking, and it's like it helps open you up. And like I say, that is just with the men. That's what I found. Like there was one guy, again, I've no idea if he tunes in either, but that was right years ago. That was right when I moved in here. So maybe like 2.5 years ago or something. And that guy really, yeah, he didn't say much at all, but I could tell that he just really got a lot of help from whatever we done in that session. But it's kind of, it's, I have to be quite strong with what I do, that it's like, I just trust that it's, because I kept being like, because remember the session, that it's not like, it's If it was therapy, that's different. Like I wouldn't allow myself to talk as much on a session, because therapy is therapy, you know, and it's ongoing, it's weekly. But when it's a session and somebody comes on and they're not saying much, it's just quite interesting. Yeah, anyway, blah, 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 blah. But basically what I'm trying to say is whoever is being strongly guided to book a session, like I would just book it, right? Because that is what I am a special about, but that's what any true shaman is about. You just feel an unexplainable pull to book that session and you don't know why. And it's why, because that was more recent, I keep mentioning that the only reason that woman had got a recorded reading was because I'd felt this weird pull to say to her, because in an email that had a sale on. I don't do that because I don't like, so you know what I mean? I just don't. I mean, I've not even got a fucking email list, do you know what I mean? I just felt guided for some reason. It was like her and this other woman, because I know that they don't, well, I don't know, maybe they do tune in. I think some folk don't, and I think they do. But it's kind of like they won't tune in everything kind of thing. But it's like, it wasn't at all because of the, because again, that wasn't even a lot of money. The point is, it wasn't even about the money. But it was, she needed the clearing. Now, whether she realises that or not, it did seem like she did realise it from what she said back to me, because she put a huge effort into letting me know how much it helped. But that's really what it was all about. Like, and if people are strongly connected to me and they're in trouble, and they're in big trouble and they don't realise that they're in trouble and they think that they can get themselves out of it, which is why I said that, actually. That's the example of why I said, you know, don't think that you're somebody that can heal all of your shit all by yourself, because that simply isn't true. Like, I can tell you right now, that woman would still be stuck if she hadn't got that. Like, because it's like, you know, and it's, if she wasn't stuck, she would have got herself out of it, but she'd be exhausted. Because like I said, it's like some experiences that people have, like, they can traumatize you, and then you're left and you need soul retrieval, because whether you realize it or not, the person that has psychically attacked you has still parts of your soul. Sorry to scare some of you here, but it's true. Like, if you've allowed somebody to, like, even there, like, probably me even mentioning that about how controlling that person in my past was, yeah, I've told loads of stories of that before, where there'll be things that have been said to me when I was younger that I know logically don't make good sense, but it would still, you know, when you, if you've not healed that part of your teenager or your inner child, you can still get stuck in that. And that's really what, when it comes down to people that can't speak up very much, it's something like that. It doesn't need to be childhood, but it's very often is. And it can be the simplest of things that you haven't even realised. Quite fascinating, actually. I will get around to doing that at some point. But see, when I've done group Zooms and we do the group healing work, I love doing that. Like, I could do it on here too, you know. I mean, it is kind of my plan when I feel guided to do it, probably a Leo season or something. But like, get people on the Zoom and do that with them live, you know, for someone that'd be up for that. And we'll get to the bottom of what your limiting belief is. And it's sometimes people have completely missed it. And it's like, because I can help people access their subconscious mind without even doing hypnotherapy, it's like, I'll get you talking enough that you'll be able to release what it is that's stopping you. And that's what I can do in a session too. Right, anyway. My shadow likes you as much as the light, for the simple fact that the healing I get from these videos and helps me integrate. Yeah, I love that. I'm not shy to talk, just reserved. Yeah, and I can actually see that from your chart, Nathan. That makes 100% sense. Yeah. Because what are you, Capricorn Sun? All right. You Capricorn Sun. And then I think I saw that you had a... Are you Virgo moon? It was 2 earth signs anyway. Oh God, I forgot now, but let me look. I'll just look a minute. But no, it was, wasn't it? It is something like that. But that would make sense, because Capricorn is more reserved. You've kind of made me go old lady in the living room vibe again. I'm just going to blame you for it. But it's fine. When I say I'm going to blame you for it, I'm joking, because we know I don't like blame. I kind of like it. But it just kind of worries me, because it keeps you... Virgo moon. Yeah, you are Virgo moon. I thought that. And Virgo moon's very polite, you see. And you are very polite. Whether it be on here or whether it be in emails, you're very polite. And I like that, because I might swear and be very blunt, but I do like politeness. So I appreciate that, because my son is in the house of Virgo, you see. So I do attract Virgo placements because of that. I've got a lot of Virgo moons, a lot of Virgo risings that tune into here. Right, let's pull one of these cards. Because I'm pretty sure that rocky road is calling my fucking name. Right. What do we need to know? That's a boring question. What do we need to know? Let's do where's the collective of divine feminine at? Where's collective of divine masculine at? And then I'll end it. And then I'll be like, peace out, motherfuckers. Don't normally say that. That was very polite, but I think there was just some banter after what I said. What is tomorrow? Thursday. Yeah, I think I'm kind of liking this, but I think I like what I've done this week. Monday's the chilled mediumship Monday, but on energetic moons, when it's on a Monday, I probably will be guided to come and do the mediumship live. Yeah, I definitely feel I'm going to do that at some point, and that'll be fun. And then Tuesday to Thursday, live. And 6:30 is working fine just now. Sometimes, obviously, shit's going to happen. I'm going to be late, but yeah. And that's how it works for me. You see, you can see that I've found the balance here, because it's like I don't mind being more of service and giving a lot of myself, and then doing the videos on top of that. And then, yeah, and then the Friday, the weekend, and even the Monday during the day is mine. I like that. My soul likes that. Like I've always been like that. Like I like to do the collective stuff, and I like to have my clients, which, like I said, I prefer doing the recorded stuff now because I can do it in my own time. But if I have got live clients, yeah, a couple of weeks is fine, and then it's, right. So where's the collective of divine feminines at? Bearing in mind that if you are a divine feminine, this doesn't resonate. The message wasn't for you today, right? We hit as many as we can. Oh, hello. What's happening here? Why have you given me so many? So, woo, okay. The return. Own your mastery. Jeez, own your mastery, the return. Someday is returning to your life. Well, quite clearly, that's why they just made me say that about this isn't for everyone. Hopefully, at some point, it will be you. But yes, the return. And I very much do feel that is the return of someone's twin flame. One with the sun, because the sun is divine masculine energy. Be the light. And when you be the light, it helps your twin flame remember who they are and come home. And that's not home in the literal sense. It's, Cancer moon is home as well, but it's coming home to themselves. And then, so that's why you chill, really. You see, just get to know yourself really well and be at peace and comfortable with yourself. And whoever the heaven your twin flame is, eventually they will find themselves too. I swear to fucking God, I've got chills all over my body. I hadn't read what this card said. It actually says there's no place like home. I think I need to read all of these because I've never, these are new cards. Fucking hell, Charlotte. Again, this was a good call, picking that. I mean, I put this on my list, my wish list, but I mean, like I said, I was bypassing it a bit. I didn't know it was this good. I trusted my intuition putting it on the list, and Charlotte really trusted her intuition by picking it. So thank you. There's no place like home. Nestle in the sweetness. I channeled all of that before I even fucking read it. And by the way, can I just say, that bit about own your mastery reminded me of you, Michelle. Peace out, motherfuckers. Now that's funny as fuck. I know it was quite funny because it's not something I usually say. Isn't own your mastery? That feels like something you would say. That's like, right, let's fucking dig into this juicy message. Right, well, so this was meant to be divine feminine, so we'll just see if it still fits for that. And although I don't think these cards are very long. Right. I need to take, I'm a bit hot. I think I need to take, it's the Kundalini energy. I need to take off the dressing gown for this, right? Don't worry, I did put a brown. I don't think it really matters. I don't think you'd be able to tell, but I did put a brown. Right, so right. The hero's journey, right? Let's see, the return. I did feel it as card. Thank you, Claire. This was a wonderful stream. Thank you, Nathan, for being so polite. You're welcome. Right, so you two are always very polite. Everyone's polite, but you two are particularly. I feel the gratitude. Right, okay. The return, own your mastery. Why do you go away? Already very Twinflame. Why do you go away? Why do you go away? So that you can come back. So you can see the place you came from with new eyes and extra colours. Loving that already. And the people there see you differently too. Coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving. And that's Terry Pratchett. It's no longer just about you, but about all who will benefit from your story. Oh my God, and look at all the stories I've been saying. Wonder Woman having a bit of a hot flash. Yes, I was. It certainly was. I felt the heat. In your mind's eye, imagine you're delivering a passionate graduation speech to a sea of eager students who are hanging on your every word. Right, I'm sorry, I can see the humour in that, right? Oh, it's just funny that I have mentioned uni tonight and I've mentioned me being a teacher and I've just said that like, oh God, that's hilarious. That is quite funny. You stand at the podium confidently sharing your story, reflecting upon your hero's journey. My God. You reminisce about lessons and blessings learned and earned along the way. Your words become seeds planted in fertile soil in the minds and hearts of all those who are destined to be changed by your wisdom. At some point, you notice you're no longer telling a story about how you found the elixir, but you have embodied it. This is Divine Feminine's cards, and I really do feel that that does reflect a lot of what I've said tonight. It's kind of like the bit when I said about that it's like, you know, at one point I have come from being the wounded inner child or the wounded parts of me to being the empowered bits. And I remember that point in my journey where you do actually have to accept you're not that anymore. And you have, or like astrology would say, like, you know, you've stepped in the empowered part of your Chiron. You know what I mean? But again, I always like to buffer that with, it doesn't mean I'm done healing. Like, far from it. Do you know what I mean? You're just given a next level of mastery. This is definitely for me too. It's about the Shiro journey. Exactly. The Shiro journey. Love it. Oh my God, remember that? I'm just giving it the big fucking. And I kept pulling that card that said, I can be your hero, baby. I can be your Shiro, baby. Gossip only hurts more. We don't want to tap into the karmic gossip. We left that out tonight. I am manifesting you. That's your twin flame saying, I am manifesting you. I just want you all the time. Notice me saying I was feeling a bit hot and I had to take that off and shit like this coming through. Do you know what I mean? What else? Let me hold you. Keeping it tame tonight. I feel like I can be my true self around you. I'm just cutting the deck and it's signing. Right, okay. Between words, when you pause for a breath, oh my God, did I just done that? Oh, fucking hell. You continue to radiate a life-affirming message that alchemically alters all who are blessed to be in your sphere of influence. The dream symbol is graduation. Fucking hell, baby. I spoke about uni. This is hilarious. Remember, have you ever heard the story of my graduation where I had ridiculous Bambi fake eyelashes on and they were actually due to be done again? Looked ridiculous. My dad told me. I should have listened to him. Do you know what I mean? Fucking ridiculous, man. You can't even see my eyes. That shit is nowhere. I think it might be my mum and dad's room where nobody could see it, but it's no fucking anywhere up in my house. Uni was a fucking waste of time, I'm telling you. Anyway, never mind. My hair stuck to my lip now. Fuck's sake, man. I'm kicking off. Right. You've earned a degree of mastery, and it is high time you own it. Well, I think I am. This dream is shining a bright light on an important. And then the next card is about be the light. This dream is shining a bright light on an important rite of passage you're in the midst of. You're crossing from novice to wise one, and you can't go back. Okay, Divine Feminine, you can't go back. You've been through too much pain. Just own it where you are. Own it where you are. You're crossing from novice to wise one, and you can't go back. This feels related to the things that Nathan's been saying too, and he's in the divine feminine energy. So I mean, it is, because you know what I mean. You were like, yeah, all the stuff that you were saying. It's like, yeah, you are. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm hoping to be that. Like, no, we're like, you are. Right. It's time to hover. No, it doesn't say hover at all, but that might be relevant. Honor. It's time to honor where you've been, claim your new identity, and prepare to make a bold leap into the future. Oh, we're quantum leaping again. We are every time I'm doing this. You've been dreaming of and working towards for so long. You are finally ready. It's your time. It's the return. Oh, so maybe it's not the return of a twin flame at all. It's the return to yourself. But then when you return to yourself, oh, hello, it's you. I'd let go of all expectations, and then you turn up. I mean, that's kind of the twin flame journey. You crack me up. I'm glad I make you laugh. I don't mean it a lot of the time. It just comes out. I've graduated from having a story worth telling to embodying the potency of my story, and it emanates through every cell of my being. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Yeah, I love it, because these aren't, hey, why did it say major arcana? It isn't meant to be the tarot. That's interesting. Right, one with the sun. Oh, and it's 4, 5, and 6. Did I shuffle these? I did shuffle, but we've literally pulled 4, 5, and 6. And I've used these a couple of times. Oh, that's interesting. Right. Something happening in steps. One with the sun, be the light. When you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. Oh, I love that. I love that, because I've heard people say that to me before. Someone left a comment once saying, a day without your post is like a day without sunshine. My twin flame literally told me I am back to my old ways. That sounds like I was going to say a backhanded compliment, but it just sounds like an insult, Nathan. Like, again, this is what I mean about, do you know what I mean? What did she mean? What were your old ways? What were your old ways? If you want to tell us on this, you don't need to tell us. Right. Oh, this is talking about divine love. After I told her to let certain people go, even if it's me, one day she must let go. After I told her to let certain people go, it's me. One day she must let go. I don't know what you mean. Don't know what you mean. Again, what was I getting when I was walking along? Because I have been outside today, guys. I just came back and put the jammies on. When I was walking by the sea today, it was like I was getting this. Oh, what was the download again? Oh, I don't know. My old ways were I'm profound. So I was right when I heard backhanded compliment. Because is she saying it? If she's saying that to you in a way that you're being too much, is that what you're saying? I'm going to tell you what I heard in my head after. That's in line with what I was saying. I think you know what I'd say if somebody told me I was too much, whether it be twin flame or anyone. I'm like, well, fucking see you later then. Do you know what I mean? Come back when you can handle it. Do you know what I mean? Sorry. It's just what, it's just the truth. I need you to YouTube made I let them go to sleep. I know, it's like, but no, I think is that what you're meaning? Like that she's saying that your old ways are not, because that's a test. This is very good. This is good teaching. You're providing very good teaching moments. And that's that you're triggering her. If that's what you mean, that even if you don't mean this is good for teaching other people. Like, you know, it's because you're obviously the one, I don't want to say you're the deep one, because you and your twin flame are both very deep. You just express it in different ways. Like, I mean, I don't want to go too personal here, but do you know what I mean? Are they more silent with it? Like, no, I don't know. Well, I do know what I mean, but like, you know, yeah, that is what I thought you were meaning. Well, I'm kind of too much for her. Well, you have to own it, and you have to be like, well, if you're too much for her right now, I don't want to trigger you right now. So I don't, but it's kind of like yeah, it's something along the lines that if you're too much for her right now, you might just be on different paths right now, but don't be triggered by that meaning like that means forever. Because it's like, and again, people don't be terrified by my story, because I know that my story could terrify the fuck out of people, but I really do just feel it's, my journey is so fucking long, because I am like I said, it's, I don't mention it a lot because I think it makes me sound like an arsehole. So if I'm going to sound like an arsehole right now, then so be it. But I am a Twinflame master teacher of this, and it's that word is what they gave me, is because of how long I've been conscious of this journey, and yeah, the specific things that happened to me, which happened to a lot of people, but it's probably just I'm more open to talk about it. It just depends. But basically, what I'm trying to say to you is that's a test. Like, you can't change who you are. That would be like if I just didn't, like when I was guided to do Facebook Live, and it was more Facebook Live than Instagram, but when I was guided to do Facebook Live, if I like was like, oh, I can't do that, like, everyone's going to think it's weird, or what if my twin flame thinks it's weird? And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, like the whole time I was doing Facebook Live, like I wasn't sitting there thinking to myself, well, I wonder if he's watching this. Like, to be honest with you, I wasn't thinking that at all. I think there might be sometimes when I was channeling things, because I know if I thought like that, I wouldn't have done it. But I know sometimes when I was, definitely when I remember actually what I'd done, it was when I moved in here, and I've said this before, but when I was channeling someone's loved one in spirit, and it was, and it was about romance, and I was definitely bringing through all these feelings about, well, just like when you're in love with someone, and I was using a lot of my own experience, because it is, being in twin flame separation, it is like, it can almost feel like someone's died because they're not in your life anymore, and you have to grieve them. And I've definitely went through periods like that in my life where I've had to grieve who it is I think I'm missing because they're not there anymore. And you do have to do that in the twin flame journey, because especially if you've been in separation a long time, because whoever it is that's coming back, they're not the same person. And that can mean two things. If they're coming back and you've missed the reunion bits where people are still, I don't want to say unhealed, but it's the only word that came to me, they're still working through their own stuff. If, and like that, oh God, that again is in the bigger video. Basically, you can fuck up once or twice, but don't allow yourself to keep going back to that, because that would be as bad as going back to a karmic. Because your twin flame will test you. Sorry, Nathan. Nathan. I think this might be because we're rescheduling the when we do this. That like they're just making me. I mean, do you want me to say all of this? I feel like people need to hear it. Generally, anyway, that's a test. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, it would be like when I've said openly on this as well. Like, if my twin flame was to be like, "Can you stop saying all of that?" I would take on board what he said, but I'd see you tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? See you next Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? Quite literally, because I do this Tuesday to Thursday. It's because it's my calling. And that is how strong you are. Sorry, I'm just laughing at myself, laughing on the delay. But it's true. Like, I think I actually caught a channeling about that a few months ago, like one of these random ones, and it was like, your twin flame's not going to want you to do what it is you do for your and I remember thinking, I fucking clicked off, because I was like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I'm going to do what I want to do. And the thing is, that does make me laugh, because I know who my twin flame is, and that's how he is. So it's like, do you know, it's like a test. Like, if I was to do it the other way around, he wouldn't stop fucking doing something just because I say it. I'm pretty sure I have kind of indicated that at some point throughout the year and a half that I've been doing this, and he didn't take any attention to it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they test you, and when it's your twin flame, you can actually see the humor in it. It's a test. So, Nathan, the route, the whole way that has come through is, you've got to own how profound you are, and the wisdom that comes through in the comments is probably going to be not even a patch on how wise you are when I talk to you on the Zoom. So you need to step more into that, and she will get more comfortable with it. Don't like dim your light. because anyone says it, especially not her, because it won't really be coming from her. It'll be coming from the people around her. And again, that's reminded me of the video that I published today. Have you seen that yet? Because a couple of people really resonated with that. It doesn't need to be the exact content of it. It's just the word, bits of it. Because it's like, again, I don't like again, it's like I don't really, I mean, it's wait a minute. I'll say that. I think I can. It's not very often I'm like, can I say that? Is that right? Right, okay. I don't know if that answers what. Yep, there. Right, okay. So I'll show you the cards that I pulled, and then I'll say what I was going to say. I'll come back for you, destined. I'll come back for you because it's a destined connection. The chemistry between us is off the charts, right? And that's those cards, so that'll make sense to whoever it's meant to make sense to. But what I was actually going to say is, I feel the more I've stepped into just, and obviously I've been doing this for ages, but the more but I do step deeper into it. And even on here, just the fact that I started being more personal about being a twin flame healer and my journey and all that, that I definitely feel if my twin flame was to be cornered about that, he would talk shite, basically. And if I'm wrong about that, I'm willing to be wrong, or change the subject or reflect, whatever. But I feel he would completely and utterly get what I'm saying because it's the other half of my soul. And if he doesn't, it's just because he's not awake to that yet. But I would even say, not being fully awake, he kind of likes it. You know what I'm saying? So, but that you have to reach that level of empowerment and healing to know that, because you could be gaslit with that, and you could have tests come your way from either others or your twin themselves to make you think different. But again, that's why I would go against what some other people out there that can make it look like they know what they're talking about. But anybody that's kind of trying to say that therapy isn't a good thing for whatever reason, I don't understand why it wouldn't be, because that, again, I go back to that's why I'm like that, because I've got a rock solid sense of self. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, I'm not even being funny. I've even had I can't really, yeah, I was about to say, my dad is my dad's never kind of expressed that he didn't want me to, it was more Facebook Live and all that. But he did at one point. Remember I said before, he was kind of concerned. He was like, about when people turn, when the wolf pack when the pack turns on the person. But I've said before, I'm like, you don't fucking worry about me. Do you know what I mean? I'll stand myself. I'm Wonder Woman Joan of Arc energy, and I don't just wear this for a laugh. This is literally my archetype at my heart, is Joan of Arc, a mixture of Joan of Arc and Wonder Woman. Because actually, when I was saying Joan of Arc there, I meant to say Wonder Woman, but it's because I'm like a blend of both. And I mean, how much sense does that make when you know me well? Do you know what I mean? It's because I'm looking at a little toy thing of Wonder Woman here when I'm saying that as well. But yeah, doesn't matter who's trying to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, because I know that I'm not doing it to hurt people. I'm doing it to help people. And even if initially people don't get that, whether it be Twin Flame or anybody else or any, they will eventually. But you've got to have the confidence to be to get through the crazy part. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, whoever needed to hear that. But with your twin flame, it's more complex because you actually are empowering them as well as yourself, but you've got to do it for yourself. And that's where people won't let go, because they don't want to upset their twin flame, and don't want to rock the boat, and they don't want to walk on eggshells. And believe me, I could get like that around mine too. But, I'll just cross that bridge whenever I come to it. So, and if I suddenly just stop doing it, then it's like, you're like, oh, Claire, she did, he didn't want her to do it. She was like, fuck that, it won't happen. Do you know what I mean? If I want to take a break, it'll be because I want to take a break, right? I've been grieving a piece of our connection is lost for the moment, and it's hard. It is hard. It's hard because, again, I need to get a better sense of it when I talk to you one-on-one, because just the fact that you've even got any sort of contact with her at all, like I want to know all the things, like I want to know all the things, but I want to know the whole story. Like I need to know how long you've known each other, and like when you met, and you know, has there been any kind of like complete separation? Because I'm always a bit suspect when there's been no, you know. Anyway, we're getting into dangerously deep territory here, which is fine, but let's read this card. You are the one with the light of the universe. Every cell of your body, your temple, is a miniature sun. You're the sunlight of the spirit. There is nothing you've ever done or will do that can diminish your light. Oh my God, how fucking, see how like fitting this is? Because I'm saying never let anyone dull your light. You know what I mean? Even though clouds of self-doubt may temporarily obscure your awareness, behind those clouds, your inner radiance still shines. Whether or not you realise it, you emit divine awareness. You're not moving towards the light on your hero's journey, beseeching it to have mercy on you. You're not moving towards the light on your hero's journey, beseeching it to have mercy on you. Your wake-up call is to realise that you can run, but you can't hide from your true nature. Oh my God, hello. Loving this. That's exactly what well, it's not me, I'm channeling it, but I mean, that's exactly what they were getting me to say. You can't run from your you can't run from the sun. You can't run from your true nature. Your true nature is your twin flame. You and your twin flame are the same. Very different than the same. Yin and the yang, but the same. You know what I mean? Because somebody did say the yin yang's my favourite. This is not grandiose. It is a humble truth that also applies to your brothers and sisters on this planet. Be still, knowing the ground you stand on is holy, and the spotlight of divine love, intelligence, beauty, and creativity is on you. And the dream symbol is light or sun. You're awakening to your spirit, your true spiritual essence. Oh God, it's just every message is about spiritual awakening right now. You're giving yourself permission to shine and are becoming aware that your awakening is lighting the path of inspiration for others to follow. Dreams of a bright light are a sign of hope that will emerge triumphant on the other side of any challenge you're moving through. Wow, I felt that. I'm at one with the sun, the light that lights up the world. All is extremely well. Tell yourself that even when it's not. Right. Now we need to read There's No Place Like Home. I don't know if I'm pulling 3 cards for Divine Masculine. And by the way, Divine Masculines could resonate with this too, because you've got a feminine side. Nestle into the sweetness. There's no place like home. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. Again, that very much is given the vibe of when a divine masculine goes in search of what it is they think they need because they're running from their divine feminine, which is actually running from yourself, to come to the conclusion at the end of it that they need to come home to themselves. Deep but true. Snuggle into the peace, calm, and simplicity. And you can't rush that shit. You know, you can't convince your twin flame that they're making the wrong decision and they're with you. No, don't do that. No. You can have a go. And you can, if you want to kind of test the waters and you want to, if you're in that, I don't know, if the mood kind of calls for it, or you can test the waters, but I would only encourage anyone to test the waters, whatever that is to you, if you can handle what comes back at you, because that can be a mixed bag. So don't recommend that if you're in a sensitive place, to be honest. Snuggle into the peace, calm, and simplicity of the present moment. So many miraculous moments happen throughout each day that are worthy of drop to your knees awe. Sunset, sunrises, the sound of your loved one's breath as they sleep, a hot shower in the morning, a cool glass of water, the ability to hug the ones you love. The list of the miracles goes on and on. On your hero's journey, or Shiro's, you will travel far from home, if only in your mind, but you will never forget your roots and your gratitude for all which nurtures, feeds, and grounds you. Home is symbolic. And remember, home is Cancer moon right now. I love it. Oh, hello, Charlotte. Home is symbolic of the place where we strive to return to. It is often the place where the elixir has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. Again, this is very much given the vibes of somebody waking up to what was in front of them the whole time, but they never looked at them like that in quite the same way. Although that is complex, you know what I mean? But it's that kind of vibe. Dreams of the home you live in now or of your childhood home can represent your sense of grounding. And again, I love that because that's Cancer Moon right now. Identity and belonging. The physical structure and upkeep of the house can reflect your physical well-being. There's actually a hypnotherapy session that I can do with people where it's to do with a house, and I get you to basically imagine your house as, got all the appropriate boundaries and all that kind of stuff. It's really good. People have had really good results from it. And it's definitely if you've got a problem with boundaries. The shape, size, and decor of the house, as well as the activity within it, all reflect how you see yourself, or how you would most like to see yourself. And the mantra is, I allow my senses to indulge in the nectar of gratitude for my home, sweet home. Very interesting. The return, one with the sun, divine masculine, there's no place like home. Right, so you're fashionable late. Oh, you're still here, Michelle. I thought you'd fallen asleep. Put you into a trance. But just on time, Claire, we're just wrapping up soon. Yes, I'm going to do the divine masculine. And I was just saying, Charlotte, I'm loving these cards. Absolutely loving them. Right, so I like that they're not too long as well. They look like they're going to be long, but they're not. So maybe we'll just pull 3 cards. Feels like it's 10:30. It's only 9:30. Right, so where's the divine masculine at? Let's see if any of the same cards come out. And again, same as what I said for divine feminine. If your divine masculine doesn't resonate, it just wasn't for you. But you'll always hear something you need to hear, I feel. Nobody ever says, oh, that doesn't resonate. It's because you're meant to be here to listen. There's not like 10 million people here listen. So the people that are meant to hear it kind of thing. Right. 10 million people, fucking hell, that'd be slightly overwhelming. I'm not being, imagine it's like, even like, that even overwhelms me that like 10 people could all be talking, but like, some of them, when there's like loads of people all talking at once, it's quite overwhelming on these chat things. It's like trying to keep up with them all. I'd be like, right, we're not quite there, so we'll get ahead of ourselves, guys. Do you know what I mean? Right. Divine masculine does not want to tell us where they're at. Ooh, but this one is leaping out. Oh, fuck off. The reward. So divine feminine's got the return and divine masculine's got the reward. This is like the card I pulled the other day that was like, you've won the lottery. The quest. Oh my God, this is absolutely in line and hilarious. Guys, see, before I come off here, please can you remind me to publish the one I haven't published yet? And you're going to see what I mean about this. Is quite mind-blowing. This is the energy of what I channeled, a lot of it, because I said something in that other one about, and I remember because I watched it back today, but it was like, I said something about, well, it wasn't me actually, it was in the book, but it was something like, but then I made a joke about it. It's like, I pulled the gardener card, which I always wonder what the fuck that means, because I never, like, when the book isn't around, I'm like, what the hell is this? I just say whatever they tell me to say. But I read it from the book, which was quite interesting. And it was about the gardener has a respect for the feminine and like planting, laying the soil, planting the seeds. Basically, that it all takes patience. It takes patience to build everything properly. And it was something about like, if you're patient and you put in the work and you do the hard work, there's a reward at the end of it. And then I'm pretty sure I made a dirty joke, or so I know me. But do you know what I mean? It's kind of the same, it's kind of the same vibe. And then, yeah, because I said something about like, the people that put on a plate, regardless of gender, these aren't the ones you want to spend forever more with. Do you know what I mean? And again, it might just be the Venus and Aries in me, but where's the challenge? So that's why it's like when I pull that card, it's like, I'm with somebody else because you're not a challenge. No, I'm with somebody else because they don't challenge me. All right, so you like a boring life. No bother, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's what I get from that. Do you know what I mean? But some people do just want an easy life. But I don't think most of the people that get drawn to me want an easy life. And if you are somebody that wants an easy life, that's very interesting. Your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet. Be careful your twin isn't going back asleep, the food are hanging around. Oh, I don't know where the fucking plug is. I mean, can we just risk it? That does look quite risky. I don't know. I don't know how long. I'm just going to. This is a dilemma now. I don't know where the fucking plug is, guys. I'm just going to go for it, right? Let's just see. If I don't get it out, and then Afterglow. Ready for the Afterglow. That was a dance song. What's that song again? We need to Google the words. Afterglow. Can't remember any of the words. Oh no, that's Ed Sheeran. Is this a new one? This isn't what I meant. Stop the clocks, it's amazing. You should see the way the light dances off your head. A million colours, whatever. Get to the point. We were love drunk, waiting on a miracle. Oh, this is a more recent one. We were love drunk, waiting on a miracle, trying to find ourselves in the winter snow, so alone in the love, like the world had disappeared. Oh, I won't be silent, I won't let it go. I will hold on tighter till the afterglow. Oh, but right, okay, that might mean something. I was looking for an old dance song. It's not giving me it. Okay, I'll have to search after, but is it that old? I don't know. Fuck knows. Hey, I'm feeling nourished. Just got off another call where the grandmothers and spirits were in the house. Oh, beautiful. Love it. I was saying something very similar earlier. Right. And that is very Cancer Moon, by the way. The ancestors. Right. The return. Right. The ward. Right. So, divine masculine. Celebrate your magnificence. It is by going down into the abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble, there lies your treasure. Joseph Campbell, love it. Congratulations, you have a life worth celebrating. You've suited up, shown up, did your heroic best, and lo and behold, hear the trumpets. You have entered the reward phase of your journey. I'm going to talk very fast, but that means something. Remember, the trumpets are to do with God, Judgment Day, all that kind of stuff. And it feels like divine masculine energies resonate with this. So if this isn't you, you're still in your dark night, so you're not this bit. You can look forward to it. Do you know what I mean? It's you've passed some kind of initiation, you've passed some test. I feel it's the ones that are due to come out their dark night soul, or you're already out the darkest bit, and it's like you can get your reward. So whether that means going to your twin flame or just being happier in life until that moment comes, it's something like this. You've suited up, shown up, did your heroic bit anyway, right, wait a minute. Hear the trumpets, you've entered the new reward phase of your journey. You've accomplished the seemingly impossible. This is a moment to stop and drop to your knees in gratitude. Oh my God, the Divine Feminine's card says something like that too. For who you've become, what you've accomplished, and the blessings you can now share with the world. You might find it challenging to receive your reward, because Divine Masculines do find it very challenging to receive, but you're all proof that you can grow with that, you know what I mean? And I'm proof of that too, because I had a very divine masculine side that found it hard to receive, you know, and depending on which day it is, I could probably still be in that. But most of the time I'm like, bring it on. That's why I attracted all the free lunches, do you know what I mean? The reward becomes easier to accept once you realise that the more you take in, the more you will have to give. Breathe this in, soak it up, let its splendour fill you, radiate through you, and elevate your awareness so you can have even more blessings to share with the world. And again, that's to do with when I say the divine masculines, that you're going through a dark time now. It all has meaning, because when you come out of it, you've got all this wisdom and learning to share with others. You know, you can be proud of yourself, but you're going to help other people with whatever you've went through. And I know that from all the sessions I do with people. If I didn't put it in the work with me and my twin, wouldn't even be in contact. Sad but true. Yeah, but you see, I think there's, again, we can talk about this when we do, but there might be something in this about you letting go, Nathan, because if I was in contact with my twin and he was giving absolutely fuck all back, I wouldn't keep contacting him. Do you know what I mean? Basically, like, so I don't want you to be doing that, to be honest. I don't want any of you to be doing. You're not meant to be doing that, right? So I really need to know what you mean, because basically you don't deserve that. Do you know what I mean? It's why, like I say, you know, oh, this is all the shit I said in that other video. I'll publish it after. Somebody remind me to, or put a comment or something if it doesn't look like I remember. But that's when, you know, that's why, again, counselling and healing is important, because when you love yourself that much, you're not going to put up with that from anybody, including your twin flame. Like, she'll come out of that, but she won't come out of it by you allowing bullshit treatment from her. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be as bad as a karmic, but sometimes it can be with twin flames. It can, and you could take quite a lot. Me and you would be in trouble, to be honest. I think with that Chiron in Scorpio and Pluto in Scorpio, we could get the real dark side. Because it's the dark side of us. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, it's deep. But the problem is you could be too understanding of it. So boundaries. Your courage and heroism are paying off. A dream celebration is like a neon sign affirming that the universe salutes you. Celebrate celebrity and celestial. Well, that's a Ed Sheeran song too. Share the Latin root. So right, this is a bit I can't read all this. Right, allow you to revel in the spotlight as you receive many deserved pats on the back from those who adore you and from the person who matters most, you. So appreciate how far you've come, Divine Masculine, but remember, you and your twin flame are the same energy too. So it's about receiving love from the people who matter most. And your twin flame, if you're true twin flames, you do matter a lot to your twin flame. And if it feels like you don't to them, well, it's they're not loving themselves, or you're not loving yourself. It's one of the two. It's not always that you're not. It can be that they're not doing the work. So the more, but again, don't assume that they're not, because that's a big thing too. You might assume your twin's not doing the work, and at one point they might not be doing the work, and then they start doing the work, and you don't know when they start doing the work. It's all part of the mystery. The more you acknowledge this milestone, the more wind will be beneath your wings for the next leg of your hero's journey. But that is important, what I'm saying about when twins are in contact like that. Like, has there ever been a period of time where you just have been in separation for a while, Nathan? Because if not, that might be what, you might be one of the ones, like, sadly, that is needing to happen. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Hopefully you went through that already, but we are going to attract people where that is the case. The more you acknowledge this milestone, the more the wind beneath your wings will for the next wings for the next leg of your hero's journey. Wind beneath your wings might be a significant song. That's significant to me, actually. I allow myself to feel, but it says feel with loads of ease. That's like how I'd write something. The joy of having arrived at this moment in my life. So again, it's about coming out of some kind of dark time. Right, I'm going to try and quickly read these, but if it cuts me off, it cuts me off. Plunge boldly into the thick of life and seize it where you will. It is always interesting. Plunge boldly into life, the quest. Your perception is most accurate when it's inside out. You've crossed the threshold from the ordinary world into the special world. Oh, hello, old earth into new earth. I said that in the video either that's yet to be seen, or the hummingbird might be significant. That's about living in the moment, because they pulled me to it up there. Or it's the one already published today. I think it's the one I published today, actually, when I said about the old earth to new earth. It's that resistance card. In the ordinary world, it was acceptable to run from the things that scared you. Oh my God. In the special world, you walk towards the things that will open your arms. This is also your north node and your south node. Read the comments of what I put on the last videos. In the ordinary world, it was acceptable to associate falling with failing. In the special world, it is an invitation to explore your depth. Because I am literally an embodiment, like that other card said, of where I've fucked up, but then I've made something of it. Do you know what I mean? And believe me, there's plenty more that I can tell you further down the line. And because I'll fuck up again. Do you know what I mean? In the special world, it is an invitation to explore your depth. It's like my friend said the other day, there's never a dull moment with you, and she wouldn't be wrong. In the ordinary world, but it's no boring. Do you know what I mean? There's no fucking boredom around here. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm entertaining every day, but I probably am and I don't realise it. In the special world, it's an invitation to explore your depth. In the ordinary world, it was customary to pretend you don't have a shadow. Oh my God. I fucking love these cards. In the special world, your shadow is where your greatest gifts arise. Right, Loss, this book is taking us to church. I'm fucking loving this shit, right? Yes, it is. Again, my shadow's like, woohoo. In the ordinary world, when something was bizarre, you disregarded it as irrelevant. In the special world, the special world's better. The special world's where the twin flames at. The special world's the new earth. Come on, come out of the darkness. In the special world, strangeness is an indicator of value and importance. In the ordinary world, it was acceptable to blame other people for your difficulties. In the special world, you take full responsibility for your experience. And what have I said the whole of this live stream and every live stream? Take responsibility for your own decisions and choices in life, right? And it's why I don't, when it comes to the twin flame journey, again, I'm not going to be like completely in balance every single day and always say it the same way. But it's why blame, shame, and guilt never really gets you anywhere. Like, there are going to be things that you have done to hurt your twin flame, and there's going to be things that they have done to hurt you, and some of it is really going to sting. But the thing is, you've learned the lessons that your souls wanted to learn, and it really all comes down to forgiveness on this journey. Yeah, and how much you can forgive another, and definitely your twin flame is how much forgiveness you've done for yourself. And I've had to do a lot of forgiveness for myself, so I've got a lot of forgiveness for anyone, really, even the fuckers that fuck me over all the time. But I've definitely got a lot of forgiveness for my twin flame. So, right. Because I just get it, I just get this journey. Dreams of falling are a message to drop into your depth and flip your perspective on what it means to be grounded. Falling can also signify you've tripped up because your feet weren't firmly planted on the earth. I spoke about grounding at the start. You may be amid a growth spurt, experiencing change and thus feeling over your head, or maybe even head over heels in love. Oh, it is Divine Masculine's cards, just saying. Imagine there are falling angels helping you learn how to fall gracefully into deeper, more soulful nature. I become more lucid when I choose to see the world from an inside out perspective. Right, okay. And the last one is Afterglow. 49. So 49 might be significant. And I've just seen the page Divine Drunkenness. Surrender to your spiritual reverie. I'm so drunk I've lost the way in and the way out. So there might literally be something about someone being drunk, but drunk in love. That's a Beyonce song, isn't it? I've lost the earth, the moon, and the sky. Don't put another cup of wine in my hand. Pour it in my mouth. Right, okay. So be reborn daily. Right, okay. Afterglow. I think it's going to chuck me off soon. Yes, months and years at a time. We've been in divine separation. Okay, right. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Right. You can thing me up with the rest later. I'm glad to hear that though. Keep fresh before me in the moments of my high resolve. That is in fair weather or in foul, and good times or tempest, in the days when the darkness or the foe are nameless or familiar. I may not forget that to which my life is committed. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. No idea what that means. I'm too tired to work it out, but coming home with the elixir. Oh my God, this person likes to talk about the elixir a lot. That's the third time. Coming home with the elixir after a soul-altering experience requires consciousness, attention, and care. Right, I'm sorry, I really get this. These divine masculines, not everyone, or you can look forward to this moment, are going to be rewarded for the quest that they've been on. And yeah, coming home after a soul-altering experience, which for most people is really quite dramatic. What divine masculines go through is fucking dark, right? Divine feminines go through the darkness too, but I help divine masculines all the time. So it's really dark shit that people are in. You've been changed, yet the world you're returning to has remained much the same. Like an aeroplane coming in for landing, having sailed over oceans, deserts, and forests. If the pilot brings consciousness to the landing, it can be graceful, even though the craft is hitting solid asphalt. I've never heard that word. Returning home, there's that again. Returning home from a powerful inner and outer journey may seem like the time to let go, but this stage takes as much consciousness as the rest. To make your re-entry as smooth as possible, go out of your way to be gentle with yourself as you integrate slowly back into the ordinary world. But I would go as far as to say, because how interesting that was the other card that was talking about the boring world and the exciting world. I mean, it's basically, I'm changing the words, but you know what I'm saying. And this one's talking about going back into the ordinary world. So what I'm getting from this is it's a divine masculine that's going to integrate the different energies and the new energies with the twin flame union. And then it's about how you integrate back into the matrix or the ordinary world too, and how you make it all work. But again, you don't know that until you do it. Like say, you don't get all the light codes and the different activations and energies until you're in union. You're not meant to know what happens next. And that's where divine feminines are more at peace with that. But divine masculines panic and delay it. But you don't find all that until you just take the leap. That's about trust. But that's when it comes back to when I say not everybody does trust that much. And that's why I always recommend therapy. And I offer therapy if you resonate with me. But I'm not saying, obviously that is a bigger investment, but start fucking somewhere, right? You know what I mean? Start somewhere to help you trust yourself. You don't trust it. And if you trust yourself, great. You don't need that. But we all need healing somewhere. Right. Dreams of flying suggest a liberation from your earthbound perspective, identity, and affairs. You've released the ego's gravitational hold. And remember, that is where a lot of divine masculine layers can be stuck in ego, and have reunited with your higher, more expansive nature. twin flame union. Probably make me do some kind of weird light language there. You are now aware that you are part of a much larger tapestry of life. When you come back down to earth, allow your light to speak for itself. Let it tell the tale of your journey to remind others that there is more to this. Wow. I am a citizen of both heaven and earth. I soar high and land with grace. And that is what divine feminine, divine masculine is within you and within your twin flame union, heaven and earth. And that's why you feel so different, because divine masculines in the earthly realms, divine feminines in the floating about up here. But actually, you need to both be both, you know what I mean, and balanced and grounded. Ho'opono prayer. Well, that's one of my favourites. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Yes, that is on one of my shamanic journeys with the green top. Indeed. And it's something that I used in my dark night this whole a lot as well. That's why I done that one. It's quite short, but you know what I mean? It is effective. Right. So yeah, for anyone that doesn't know that, just repeat that over and over again. And what you're really saying is well, I explain it in that journey, is like you're saying it to yourself. But in that one, I think I sort of channeled it like you were saying it to your twin flame as well. But again, you're saying it to your twin flame, you are saying it to yourself. It gets so complex, doesn't it? Oh, I forgot I was going to use this deck. Right. I think we can sneak in one of these. These are quite short. Not that many though. Right. One more card and then I'm going to go. So thank you for joining me for this lot. I mean, how long were we on here? 10 to 10. Fucking hell, shit. I've had been like absolute hours again. 3.5 hours. Oh. Right. It is what it is. This is big energies, like leading up to the 5th of May, that eclipse, and really surrounding it. It's big things that are happening in all of our lives. And like I say, really every time I'm on here, it's healing, but it's like it's a huge, like it's a prayer circle. So we're holding space for everything that we're all going through. Pray for me too, because I need it. And I'm praying for all of you. Right. Please. Right. Because like I say, I did feel, you know, that when I was saying that about how messy this room was, and I feel it's something about calling yourself out as well, which is why I like to do it. And it's why I like to hold space for people doing it on the sessions with me, is, you know, it's not that bad, right? Like, stop hiding what you're ashamed of and all that. Like, share it in a trusted space. Like, my trusted space weirdly does seem to be here, but it's I did tidy up. Do you know what I mean? And it's not half as bad as what it was. It accumulates quite a lot. But how I've worked around that is I have to move all of this when I do the other videos, you see. So it kind of works. Like, I have to tidy it up, otherwise I wouldn't be able to film it like that. And I do like doing those other ones where it's just my hands as well. So that's how I've done a workaround. But yes, I felt the love. So, but there's other stuff in my life that I absolutely do need your prayers for. So it's much appreciated. Right. And lighthouse. Wow. So I mean, I've said stuff like this tonight as well. There's a lot about being the light and lighthouse. And like I say, you know, the divine feminine is the light. Is the light for divine masculine on the journey. Whether you see that as you are the light for your own divine masculine, which you are, or other divine masculines on the journey, because that is what some divine feminines' purpose is, quite clearly, why I'm sitting here. But yeah, you'll know for you. I am always enough. Lighthouse, don't doubt your worth. And that's very North Node and Taurus. You don't need to have a North Node and Taurus, but I'd say it's even more important if you've got that, as I open the book at 37, just to prove, because that's why I say it, talk about the 37, because 37 is when you're catapulted onto your North Node. And the other ages, it's just that's the one I'm most drawn to. Endings are inevitable, by the way, is the number 37. Eclipse energy again, let's read it. As humans, we tend to see things in black and white, forgetting to account for all the grey in between. There's someone in your life who's begun to fade away, or maybe they're gone altogether now. Don't fight it. Real relationships are not the same as fairy tales we know and love. There's no neat and tidy bows to tie things up at the end, leaving you satisfied. Acceptance isn't easy, but it's a thing you need to work towards. We create our own closure. That's very in line with the one I've done today and the one that you're going to see later. I've just looked at Storm too. I'm telling you, I keep picking up on divine masculines that have not ended things that they wanted to end a long time ago. Whether it's friendships, love, family that are being dicks, I don't know. Right? Sending love to whoever that is. Sending helpful energy to your... Thank you. It's very much appreciated. Right. And again, I'm going to go after this because it might chuck me off anyway. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of your sharing as well, because it does, it marries well with, what the fuck is my hair doing, by the way? But it's got that kind of greasy enough feeling that I'm going to be able to curl it tomorrow. But you won't see the curls. It's always fallen out by the time I come on here. But anyway, there will always be someone in your life who doubts the amazing things you're capable of. It is then that you must decide to be your biggest champion, which is basically what I was saying in a roundabout way. Is, yeah, you know what I mean? You got to love yourself unconditionally. You don't give a fuck who, doesn't get you. Be your own hero, be your own Shiro, all these things. Believe wholeheartedly in your own worth, regardless of outside opinion. And that's what I said, having a rock solid sense of self. You'll trigger the fuck out of people because they'll think you're up yourself, but you're not. You just love yourself and you've got confidence. Confidence triggers the fuck out of people. And most people, basically. I've got to hang up now. Love you all. Yes. Yes. Is that you hanging up? Or are you meaning it's because I'm hanging up? That's funny when you say that. Bless you, sis. Only love. Thank you. Feed yourself a steady diet that speaks to self-love, self-kindness, and self-confidence. Well, if that's not a fucking brilliant one to end it on, I don't know what is. Because that's exactly what I've been saying this whole stream and what I strive to say every fucking stream. Do you know what I mean? Have self-love, self-confidence, self-acceptance. And you'll see your twin flame at some point, right? Don't ask me when though. Fuck knows. That's the part that none of us know. It's part of the excitement, apparently. Do you know what I'm saying? I did have a question for another day. I saw some, well, if it cuts me off, I'll answer it another time. I saw someone mention Saturn return and it's happening in the 20s. On a recent video, you mentioned nodal return around 37. What's the difference? It happens a bit later than your 20s, right? Your Saturn return, I always get mixed up with that, but I think it's like 27 or 29. Yeah, I'll find something that'll be, or Google it and you'll find it. But it's the 20s is too early. But your Saturn return is brutal. So it happened to us, like I say, for me, it was around my Saturn return period, which I think it's about 3 years. Yeah, I had like so many traumatic deaths in the 1 year, like 3 or 4, and that was also when it was going tits up in my course. Yeah, so basically it's like, a lot of shit. I think that was actually, it was around my dark night of the soul. So, but the nodal return is, so Charlotte, that would have happened at the same time. So like I said in the comments, like for me, when I turned 37, I only reflected on this because I kept being drawn to 37 all the time, was I basically, like friendships were gone like pretty much overnight, like, you know what I mean? That's basically how it happened. And it was just, basically I was, just different bits and bobs of information came my way that don't fit with my values and morals and how I show up for people. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. See you later. Do you know what I mean? It was just the end of, it was the end of the friendship. And again, and some people go, oh, that's really harsh, but it's not. It's when you love yourself and you're confident enough in yourself and, it's, you know what I mean? It's just, there's some things that you just like, nah, I don't deserve that. And that's what I mean. Like when I reflect back, and I'm really proud of myself for these moments. But again, it doesn't take away any of the good times that I had with people from my past, but it was absolutely time to close the door on several friendships. And then it was weird, that was like it was a catalyst for, like, I haven't counted, but it's probably actually, if it's not 5, I think it might even be more. It was like a catalyst for like letting quite a few other friends go, but it'd already been, there's wee things that build up to. So that's what it was for me. But for other people that are in a romantic relationship, it's probably that. Like it's probably realizing, this isn't for me. Like I feel for a lot of twin flames, it's, you're not in the destined connection. You're in the karmic one, and it's time for that to come to a close from what I keep picking up on. And it's, so what I said in the comments was, the people that are staying with karmic relationships right now, it's just where you're meant to be. You're not ready to follow your North Star yet, but at some point you will be. And if you're stuck and everything's going wrong and, you're not happy and you're lusting after a twin flame but not doing anything about it, you're staying in your comfort zone of the South Node. And right now the South Node is in Scorpio, and that's brutal. It's why I call it the black hole of doom. If you've got the South Node in Scorpio, it'll be pretty rough. And if it conjuncts things like your sun or anything like that, it's, you'll be used to it at a certain point. But the thing is, you're probably somebody that, I might be speaking out of turn, but I don't think so. From people that I look at their charts and they tell me this, you're going to have a tendency to look at like, I'm just thinking one of my best friends will have that, but she's not doom and gloom, but she does worry a lot. And I'm someone in her life that helps whenever she's very private. Whenever she does share things with me, I'm able to help her see the blessing within the curse or the apparent curse. And that's what I help any of my friends. Actually, I've got quite a few friends of that, or I've got people in the past that had it, but they would have a tendency to look at the dark side of life rather than the bright side, you know what I mean? Or just kind of feel like the world's against them. And that could be all of us. You don't need to have the South Node in Scorpio. It's just that is the past. And Scorpio is death, pain, transformation, is brutal. Honesty and pain is what I call it. Because it's what I deliver for people in a light, fluffy way when it's called for that way, or just the hard truth, you know what I mean? But you don't want to stay in that shit. Do you know what I mean? And that's how you know someone's in that. Because if I'm speaking to you and you're unhappy and you're hiding your true self and you're in a relationship where you feel like you can't be yourself, or if you try to even show parts of your real self, you get gaslit or bullied, or that came out another one. Or that did come out when I pulled, this isn't happiness. You know what I mean? So it's kind of obvious. So you think, well, why would somebody stay in that? But if you or somebody, like, some people are addicted to pain, and I'm not judging it, it's just a fact. Some people are literally, you've been conditioned to be addicted to pain. And I think at some point we can all probably resonate with that something, but it's, it just depends how honest you are. You might be like, no, I've never been that, but I can definitely tell when I've been that. Like, I've just always wanted to fucking save people, so I've had to work very hard to tell myself I'm not here to save people. And I literally, to be honest with you, I was thinking about it, I literally have saved people's lives. I mean, this isn't a revelation, I have saved people's lives, but I've even had the same people where I've saved their lives abandon me, and after telling me they're not gonna. But I still keep saving people's lives anyway. But do you know what I'm saying? It's like, so if I can look on the bright side when I even have that happen several times over, even when the same people have heard the stories that that's happened, they're like, oh, I'm not going to do that to you. And I still trust people, and it still happens. It doesn't stop me from, trusting people, but yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, don't fall too much in this. Like the North Node in Taurus is about, and so this will resonate really hard with, if you've got this, by the way, but I think it could resonate with anyone. The North Node is about following your destiny and your North Star. And in Taurus, that is about money. It is about value. It's about self-worth. It's about quality, and it's manifestation. And so natally, if you've got that, before the ages of 37, you could be somebody that massively self-sabotages it. Now, you might not see like that. Like that could look like somebody just having fun, living their life, being, they're pulling me the word risk, you know what I mean? Just living like a kind of fucking, I don't know, a wild kind of life where you're just, you think you're having fun, and you probably are having fun, but when you kind of look back on it, probably from 37 onwards, you could look at it a bit differently and be like, oh, I could have made different decisions. But again, that's why we say don't dwell in it, because you've made the decisions you're meant to make. Because it's like, again, I don't have the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio, but I can even resonate for what I just said, where up until the age of 37, I was going out, like literally up until the day, I was going out and getting pissed, and like, okay, that's not a good example, because I actually hadn't drank for like a year or two before my 37th birthday, and I suddenly just decided I wanted to drink champagne. And then, let me tell you, when I was in bed the whole day spewing, and my poor mum had made me a lovely cake, and I couldn't even go along their house, which is 2 minutes away, to eat it. And it was really cute though. My mum and dad sang happy birthday. It was before deleted WhatsApp. They sang happy birthday and showed me the cake before they ate it. They saved me. Felt terrible. But again, I learned, and I never fucking done it again. And that's why even last year, my birthday was quieter, because again, there was still a lot of weird energies around the changing friendships and everything. But then, yeah, this is why it's probably one of the happiest birthdays, most peaceful, happiest birthdays I've ever had, with a whole lot less friends, because the ones I'm left with are genuine. and support me through some really hard stuff. Have supported me through some really hard stuff, and I can trust them. Yeah. Did that answer your question, Charlotte? But yeah. So it'll be interesting if you're past 37, if you are 37, if you can, but it is interesting when I reflect back on it, because it's like, wow, yeah, that was really, I wouldn't say it was another dark night of the soul, and I've said that, I don't mind saying as well that I naively was like, oh, maybe these people are being taken away right now because he's coming in. Like I did, and this is why, okay, this might cut me off because I did say it a while ago, but this is why, that it depends on which way you look at it when you watch twin flame general readings that help you, or even get personal readings. But the way that I look at it is quite unique. So again, you can take what I say if it helps you, or you can just leave it. But you could see it as an element, if you're unhealthily doing that, you could see it as false hope. And I do think there's a bit of it in that. You can't hang off every word that somebody said. And hopefully I've made it clear by what I say through my experience of watching others do that for a long time as well as me doing it. That much of the stuff does not happen in real time. It just doesn't, right? Like, but there's no disputing there's something in it. Like, it's because it's timeless. Like, it can help you, because if it gives you a little bit of hope and it really resonates in the moment, well, it's kind of like, right, okay, they're actually showing me something. And again, I'm not naming names, but it's like, I once had a reading, it was quite a few years ago, but it was like, all I can say is, I'm being really cryptic, but what the person told me was very disheartening and very kind of like, from me doing that job. And by the way, this was a really lovely person. I'm not, it's just interesting. Like, it's just interesting sometimes how what someone can be in public, and I've had that a few times, where what they are being in public is their shadow's not the same on the individual call. And again, I know I said that, like, that is true to me, but it's more just like, I'm really deep on here, and what's going to get really is it's just going to get even deeper in the session, and you're going to cry and shit like that, right? And it's because people just instantly feel this kind of trust, like they're okay to do it, and you are okay to do it, but it's kind of like, but what I've experienced, and again, I really do think it is because people are a bit threatened by how much I know the journey too, but it's sad, because like I say, I'm not naming names because some of these people are really nice people, but it's like, it was just like, what one woman told me was like, really not right, and I've had proof of why it wasn't right. And it was funny, it's kind of similar to what I'd said before about, like, someone else had said something similar, and it was just, very kind of, this is absolutely definitely going to happen, and well, it didn't, and the time is now past now, do you know what I mean? And but it wasn't along the line of something happening, but it was more like something happening with me and someone else, and and it's just kind of, and it's just interesting, because some people say it with absolute confidence that this is the absolute thing, and nothing is absolute. So again, I know that was quite cryptic, but sometimes some of us are thrown tests so that you trust yourself, basically, is what I'm saying. And what I've experienced with other apparent or real twin flame people is, I know the journey better than them. Bye, peace off, that was my shit. But yeah, it is true. I don't know about better than them, but I know my own twin flame journey better than it. So there's a lesson in that if you know who your twin flame is, and there's absolutely no doubt in your mind whatsoever, and I catch a lot of other twin flame people actually saying, well, because we all experience doubt, and we've all had that, or there's some really massive ones that are good, but and it's just, I don't, that's not always the case. Some people have never, they've never doubted it. But again, I could really sort of tease that out, but sometimes we're throwing, because sometimes I've had things for other people and it has been a bit of a conundrum, and I'm just really honest. So I'm like, look, I don't know why I'm getting this info for you, but I do know why. It's because that's what my purpose is to here to help people with that. And it's a bit of a, you've got to feel into it. So if I'm really guided to tell the person, I'll tell them, but it's a bit of a test for them too, but it's not me playing it. It's just, and so that's why I'm saying, like, you know, whenever I've heard certain information be channeled to me by, like, it's been nice people, apart from one wasn't. I wouldn't say they're not nice, but they're just, they're not on the, anyway, whatever. Just be careful out there is what I'm saying. But all the other people were nice, but it was crazy how what they've told me was like so way off. Yeah, anyway, right, I'm signing off now. I'm signing off. I think that is just unique to my journey. It was to test how well I know the journey. Discover your superpower. Access 100% of your mojo. Right, I'm not even fucking kidding. It's 33. Jesus energy. Yeah, but I feel that really. I've never seen this card before. But that's basically what I was saying. That is my superpower. Is to be like, why the fuck is this person telling me all this shit that is like, I was nice enough. It tested me being polite, but I was like, wow, that was like the biggest mindfuck ever. and then I've seen people do really well in the field, and I'm like, so it's like, yeah, that is a really weird one. It's still a weird one, but yeah, that is literally my superpower. Is to trust my fucking self. It's like my mum said today. I happened to mention to my mum that someone had given me a message about something, you know, like what I do for yous, and she was like, "Why are you doing that when you can do that for yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah, but." And she has kind of got a point, but again, I bring it into balance, because it's like what I say, although I can do my own cards, if I was really, really stuck in my head, it is very helpful to have somebody pull out what you know yourself, or if you're kind of doubting, if it's too close, like when I have had codependent people around me that are basically using me or manipulating me, and it's not always straightforward as that, but there usually is something in that, guys, because whenever I set a boundary with someone and they go quiet, they go funning me, it's because they weren't getting easy access to me, you know what I mean? And it's a shame, but I do experience it. And you know, and that is why it's like I've learned from that. But become the elixir. That's the thing this must be a thing in this book. Let your glow do the heavy lifting. Right, okay, I need to go off here. It's like fucking, we need to cut off at some point. I've doubted it at varying degrees over the years, but when you named it, for me, I was like, yeah, but thank you for saying, Charlotte, I love you. I love all of you, but thank you for saying that, because that's what I mean. It's like that, you know, that was channeled to me in my shamanic stuff, that I make it crystal clear for people. I'm meant to. But it's just, it is a shame, because I have had some, I mean, it's funny that I'm saying this in Mercury retrograde, but I have had some experiences with other people in Mercury retrograde where, like, I've had, like, yeah, just things about, like, twin flame stuff, and the person can't see. And I've had loads of weird experiences where it's like, yeah, I've just had really weird experience. I mean, I could, yeah, I'm going to stop there, but it is, I really feel for people when they feel someone is their twin flame and it turns out that they weren't. But this is what I mean. I like to hold some sort of, until I hear somebody's story, and I'm always very sensitive about how I would go about that with someone. But like I said the other day, and that has been very confident, like it's like, you know, only you know who your true twin flame is. But what I would add to that is, because there's so many people talking about twin flames and teaching about twin flames, but there's a lot of people talking about this journey that I can just, they've not met themselves to the deep levels of what I require, really, like, basically, you know. And that's probably why I was told many years ago to just sit in quiet communion with God or spirit for the answers. But like I say, I didn't take that fully on board, because I do still get help from outside people, and it's but I haven't done that very recently, because again, it did just get to the point where it's like what I've said when it comes to twin flame stuff. Once you've heard enough and you've heard your twin flames channeled higher self and you're confident about it, but you're nowhere near that part of the timeline, I wouldn't say you're wasting money, but you kind of are in a way. Do you know what I mean? If you've heard enough, it's like, just tune into the free shit. Do you know what I mean? And I shouldn't really be saying that to people, because I've been doing my cellular job, but I'm just being honest. Do you know what I mean? But I know not even nearly enough of you have done that with me, because, well, you haven't done it with me, basically. You might be getting that from someone else, but it's, yeah, but I know for myself, it's like, you just, some things you just got to let things play out, haven't you? Just enjoy where you're at. Why are they not letting me go? Maybe it's because I'm blowing out the candle. Right, everyone. So those prayers that I'm holding space for whatever it is you're needing help with, and thank you for doing that for me as well. All shall be revealed further down the line, or maybe not, because it's me. I'm a Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto. But thanks for your help. I'm joking. I will further down the line. Yes, we're going to blow this out, and all that healing is going to go to us. And why do I feel like I'm not going to be on tomorrow? I do intend to be, because it's Leo moon. Is it already Leo moon tomorrow, or is that? Oh, maybe that's why. Let me check. I do mean to be on tomorrow, but if it's still... Oh, no, it is, yeah, it'll be Leo moon. Oh, fucking hell. I'll be loving life tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. It's Leo moon. That's my favourite. And this is why I don't follow anyone else on this. I'm so grateful for you. But Charlotte is... I worry when you say that too, because it's like, I have not told Charlotte to do that. I have to state that. But in a way, I do think there is... You see, that's what I'm honouring about what's unique to you, is your trust in yourself with that. And I don't think I can really comment, because then it is a bit weird, because it's me that you're following about this. But I think there's some wisdom in that. Because I follow a shitload of... Well, not all of them. Not some of the bit, you know what I mean? But I think that's part of my unique journey, is because I'm on this path. But again, when I say I follow people, I just mean I'm subscribed. I've not got the energy to watch the videos anymore. And it's probably because of what I've said. It's like I've got what I've needed. Thank you, Frequency Queen. I've got what I've needed from it, like the good, the bad, and the very fucking ugly, let me tell you. And the jealousy. It's so crazy, actually. It's so funny, because I'm really going into a lot of deep shit here, but it's all true. It's happened with quite a few folk. I mean, this was years ago, but it's happened with quite a few folk. Like, I remember one, right? Because again, I'm not naming names, and again, Charlotte's not going to know who they are, but it's so funny, because lots of you will follow other twin flame people, and you won't, I'm not naming names, but it was like, one was like quite interested in me collaborating with her at one point. And I'm not up for that a lot of the time, because it's, usually like, I'm going to get someone's going to manipulate me. But so it's probably I was being protected. But anyway, it was quite funny. It was like, I'd helped her with her astrology. They're pulling me to the star thing there, the map, on the teacup. And it was like, like I'd messaged back, like saying a symbol, and then it was like she ghosted me. And it's like, so it was a bit hard at the time, because I thought, when it's like, it was just a bit kind of weird. And I thought, what the fucking hell is that all about? But I don't hold it against the person. And now and again, when I'm guided to, I don't watch all their stuff, but I will watch. But I feel she's younger, a lot younger than me. And I think she's maybe just a bit naive. And I think maybe there was a bit of being threatened. But again, be wrong. What do I know? I've just got Pluto's 8 degrees in Scorpio in the 12th house. But it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? So it's sometimes I think they've made me go TMI with that story, because I think somebody else needs to hear it. That it's not always for what you think it is. It's maybe because somebody sensed you maybe know a wee bit more than them about the topic, and they're threatened by you. So don't always assume. And listen, if it was maths, I'm not going to claim that was, that would absolutely not be the case. But when it comes to twin flames, baby, that's my thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but it ain't a competition, because I've not seen anybody fucking putting the shit down that I put down in the way that I put it down. Far from it. How could they? I didn't see anybody else sitting in their jammies talking about twin flames. You know what I'm saying? And I also don't ever see anybody going as deep about their own twin flame journey as what I do. Some people maybe go a little bit close to it, nowhere near as close to what I do. So I'm owning that too. But I'm an Aries at the highest degree, so it's trust. I know this is what's right for me. Every other area of my life, I feel like to explore it and learn more, but not this. You're stuck with me. Thank you, Charlotte. I really do appreciate that. But again, if that ever sort of changes, like, trust yourself.